1 second here. Make you co-host.
Oh, I was muted. Sorry, dude.
No, you're good. What's up? How you doing?
I'm good. Oh, there's the camera. All right.
Here I am.
Just trying to make sure everything's working. We did it.
Yes, we
Didn't
did
break it or
this.
nothing.
Hopefully, this link is going to be significantly, the right link, and it'll be less of a shit show than last time. So
Yeah.
I
Well,
got people in the waiting room. I'll let them in a minute. But yeah, that was bad last time.
he likes to show off.
Yeah. All right. I'll start inviting people. It's funny. I have this mic and it keeps like not connecting. So I thought I had it plugged in for yesterday's session and I realized it wasn't. And I think it's on now, but why it's so hard to get a good like USB mic that like doesn't suck,
I don't know. It sounds good. I'm using the regular one here. Can you hear the loud fan in the back?
I still can't hear the loud fan. So we're pretty solid on that.
Sweet. That's great.
Is
Everything coming in. All right.
Yes. Yeah. Are you coming through your headphones or through your computer today?
Let's see. Let me make sure. Computer.
Okay, good. Yeah, that's definitely the move here. Sweet. Cool. I see people coming in. So hello to everybody who's coming in there. Hola. ¿Cómo estás?
It's French, I believe.
Yeah, exactly. I'll give it just another minute or two for some more people to trickle in here, but super excited for today. Got some good stuff to share. So
Old-fashioned schemery is what it is.
Yeah, good scheming. Yesterday was awesome. Well, thank you. Glad you felt that way. Liz, I'm glad the link was a lot better today than yesterday when Liz was the first person to be like, hey, that personal meeting room link. She's like, yeah, that's not working. And I'm like, trying to troubleshoot with her. And then it turns out she was not alone in that. It just, I don't know, but whatever.
Dude, did you get that text I sent you with the ROAS numbers from those messenger campaigns?
Oh, that was one. Oh my god.
40x.
Oh my god. Yeah. Oh, that's gonna be fun. We're gonna go do that today.
No, but
No,
it's just
no,
that thing that guy was bitching about in your group.
Yeah,
it's like, it's like,
all right, it was on Messenger. Yeah. You're getting a 40x ROAS on those Messenger campaigns.
Yep, it doesn't happen every time though. So like,
sure, of course,
results diminishing.
Very not typical. Frank doesn't know what he's talking about. Frank doesn't anything. But yes, basically, you're not saying Messenger Millionaire is not your new course coming out. Is what you're telling me.
Oh gosh, there probably is a course called Messenger Millionaire. So let's just say it's the greatest course ever made, so we don't get in trouble for libel or slander or something like that.
Oh man. All right, cool. I'm still letting people in, but let's jump in here. So everyone, fantastic to see you all. I'll keep accepting people as they come in, or Frank, if you see them in the waiting room, feel free to hit accept as well.
Cool.
I'll walk you all through what we're going to do today. We're going to look back at that sort of framework I shared yesterday, and we're going to apply specifically what I call this FAQ bridge strategy to it, which is a really dope strategy. It's really not complicated at all, but it's just an easy way to, honestly, going back to the unlimited ad ideas, like this is like a really powerful way to just generate so many angles and hooks and kind of never run out of things to write about when it comes to your ads and have them actually work. So it's used by like Golden Hippo, and a lot of like big companies actually use this strategy, but I don't hear people talking about it a lot. I made up the name, the FAQ bridge strategy, but they're using the strategy if they don't know the name. So look at that. We're gonna look at some of the other main kind of ad types, and we've got a bunch of examples that we'll pull up and kind of go through, and Frank and I will sort of dissect them and judge them and praise them and all this other stuff. Then Frank will kind of go through his educational ad framework that he's used many times with great success. And from there, we'll go into his retargeting setup. So that's the plan. Frank, anything you want to add before we get started?
No, I think we're ready to party.
All right, let's party then. Let's do it. So I will go ahead and share my screen. We also go ahead and just do it where I can play sound from my computer right now too. Okay, so and I'll put this into the chat so we can get all the anonymous porcupine, anonymous hedgehog, all the creatures coming in that Google provides too. All right, so there, anonymous bat, anonymous ferret, go for a platypus kraken. So my favorite thing is all the anonymous, things popping in there. All right, cool. I should got that up. So, if we go back to the framework I taught and shared yesterday, we had, kind of like just like what your landing page is, the value proposition of the offer, your core demographic, market's core desire, the competitors like ads, like, and what their value prop is, what the market's like asking or looking for, ad ideas, like in hooks for ads, and then the ads themselves, right? So I want to start off by looking at looking at like a hypothetical dog supplement offer. It doesn't really matter what the landing page is. Let's just say, the value proposition is support your dog's joint so they extend their health span, have better mobility, continue to act like a young puppy with more energy, and you feel better about yourself as a pet owner. So that's like the value prop of the offer, right? Your dog's gonna have a longer health span, meaning that longer period of time potentially where your dog is spry and acting like, healthy and energetic with better mobility and staying like a puppy. That's really what all dog owners want, especially once they have aging dogs, having sold lots of stuff in this space. So, but the core demographic for this, dog owners who care deeply about the health and well-being of their dogs, often with older dogs who are starting to slow down. Now, again, I'm just doing this as a hypothetical offer because it does not really matter like what the actual page is, right? So core desire, keep your dog acting young, spry, and happy forever. Obviously, we can't say forever in our marketing, but that's what people really want. Nobody wants their dog to die ever, right? Like they want their puppy to be a puppy forever. Okay, so we'll look at competitors' ads in a minute, what their offer, their value prop is, what the market is asking, do the hooks and ads. But what I want to talk about real quick is, and this will tie in together, I promise, is what I call this FAQ bridge strategy. So I'm going to go to Dr. Gundry to start here, right? Big company, hundreds of millions of dollars in revenue. We'll start in the ads library. I'll make this bigger in just a moment here too. So I want to show you all as we look at.
I was cutting you off, dude. I'm sorry. That's a Golden Hippo brand, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
And
Exactly.
don't they do? Is this? I could be making this up. I do tend to just randomly make things up with a straight face. Do they do $1 billion a year yet? Golden Hippo? Are they pushing that?
They might be. I don't know. I mean, I know they've been at. Well, I don't know. I'm pretty sure they've been at above 400 million a year. I think maybe they got to like 800 even. I can't remember. Massive numbers for sure.
It is.
I don't know where they're at.
I heard it, but I don't know if it was true. And I didn't ask Craig because I thought it would be weird.
Yeah,
So
and
I was like,
Craig
I'm
got
not gonna ask.
Craig got a big payout. I remember. I don't think Craig would care if I share the story, but I was at like for the 100 million mastermind like the first year, and I'm at like we did it like I think at Dan Bilzerian's house, right, which is this crazy like house that's like I don't know whatever like $70 million, and I'm sitting there, and then Craig was like supposed to be one of the sort of advisors or part of that at the beginning, and so it's like, oh yeah, like Clemens lives right down the street, and I'm like, damn, I'm like that's some direct response copywriter goals right there. When like we're sitting in this like $70 million mega mansion, and like, oh yeah, Craig's neighbors with this guy.
That's so
Craig,
great.
Yeah, it was just like, man, that changes it. Craig got a nice payout from what I understand. So, and
Good.
yes. So anyway, though, if you actually look at here's some of their ads, right? What I want to point out to you is, okay, this first one is like sort of just about. We'll come back to this one. It's not as relevant, right? Let's look at this one. How fast does your poop come out, and what does it say about your health? According to gut health expert Dr. Stephen Gundry, it can actually tell you a lot. Here's what to look for the next time you visit the restroom. And then it's, of course, got their product Get Total Restore Now. So let me actually hit play on this video. You all let me know if you can't hear it for some reason, but you should be able to.
Can the speed of your poop tell your future? When patients want to know why they have unexplainable weight gain, fatigue, or metabolic issues, they often ask, what kind of test should I get? Okay, just slow down. Before you pay for an expensive lab test, there's something you should do at home first. Pay attention to the speed of your poop. Not how long it takes you to finish, no, I mean how fast it's coming out. Did you know on average for humans, poop comes out at 2 centimeters per second? You know, it's going slower than average when you're straining and your poop is lumpy, hard, or nut-like. And it's going faster than it should when it explodes with a loud mess of soft, shapeless blobs. Either of these could mean your gut is out of sync with what you're eating. A healthy poop that obeys the speed limit looks like a smooth log.
I'm gonna keep going for one more minute because I want to point out something important about this ad. So we'll keep watching for one more minute on this and poop. Fun times with poop here, but let me keep going.
Passes comfortably and leaves you feeling empty. You might be wondering what makes it go faster or slower than it should. The lining inside your gut is very thin and just one cell thick, but many of the foods we're told are healthy are actually creating tiny tears in the lining of our guts, just like the holes I'm poking in this casing. So what can you do to support a healthy digestive system?
Millions of Americans have changed their gut health.
Okay. So one thing you only want to notice, by the way, with Golden Hippo and what they do they do this with City Beauty, which is another of their brands. They have like this dog food secret thing with Dr. Marty. So they basically will they have the whole VSL is being run as an ad, right? And what they'll do is they'll record all these different little intros that are about a minute to a minute and 30 seconds long and play that as the opening. And then it'll just transition into this VSL. And this is the same VSL with like a ton of these ads will have the same thing. But the FAQ bridge strategy, so to speak here, is where basically like, okay, if this offers around like, restoring your gut and your digestion and things like that, really what they're doing is they're just like going and looking for like common questions that people have around like your gut and your digestion and things of that nature, answering that question with a lot of curiosity and making it very like, interesting, kind of educating, having curiosity, making it very fun and entertaining, but also informative, and then transition to the VSL, right? And so you'll see that they just do this again and again and again. And obviously these guys are, doing a gajillion dollars a year, whatever it is. So, it's probably working out okay for them. Like right here, right? Is gluten the main problem? The number of Americans eating gluten-free has tripled since 2009. But is gluten-free the best way for better health? Right, nutritional expert. I feel like I'm hearing like a weird, like a little bit of feedback on the call. I don't know if it's me or anybody else. Is anyone else hearing that? A weird, like clicky, chirpy. Okay, cool. As long as it's just my stuff, I'm good. So watch, I'll hit play on this one too real quick, right? Is gluten the main problem?
Is gluten-free really healthier?
Did you know the number of Americans eating gluten-free has tripled since 2009? This means millions of people are now trying to control weight and eat better by buying gluten-free. But is gluten-free really a golden ticket for health? Well, that depends on a few things.
So you see what they're doing here, and they do this again and again and again, right? So like, don't buy apples before watching this. So that one's more of a contrarian type of ad. I have it as an example later. Sometimes don't forget to do this, but I bet if we go through here, are farts the sign of a bigger issue, right? Like here's another one where you're asking a question. Does eating healthy equal better health? They have that one. They tried this one, a bunch of variants, right? And then they have these different kind of images. What are the 3 healthiest foods? Do not buy produce. Number 1 vegetable. To never eat for weight loss. So really, like, this is a strategy that they use again and again. And I actually love it. To me, it's very easy. So how do you replicate that, right? So okay, obviously we could look at our competitors' ads libraries and see what they're doing and what the value props are and things of that nature. So I still want to do that part of it. But then what we're gonna do is we're gonna go to like answer the public like we did yesterday, and you can just go back to what people are asking, right? So I'll show you some practice. So let's say we're back to our dog example, right? So okay, and then by the way, what if you don't know who your big pet supplement competitors are? So the way I would do it, I've got my ads library up here. I'd be like, dog supplement. I would also use, you can just Google that and see who starts showing up, right? And what ads are there. There's Pet Lab Co., which I know is a really big one. If I go to chewy.com, let's go here real quick because we know that's a big dog, outfit. We look at sort of the top selling things. Okay, well, Pet Honesty is a big one. And there's Zesty Paws, and then we saw that there was like the Honest Lab one, right? There was and a Pet Lab's good. So let's for example, let's try Pet Honesty. So let's go to ads library, search for Pet Honesty. It's 1 word or 2 words. Let's see. Okay. So we got the limited time offers here. And actually pull us into a different window.
Dude, is anyone else having the inner dialogue that's like, okay, we can't talk about weight loss or income or revenue or sales, but my man can talk about flatulence and defecation all day. No problem. But if we use the word you too much or something, the Facebook's going to flag you. But apparently, knock yourself out if you want to talk about bowel movements. Go hog wild crazy.
And also, I think it helps that they're spending like, so much money on there. So I think like, I found that with B Shred, I wrote, that weight fat burning supplement offer Burn for them that did like 9 figures. And it was, it wasn't like everything was backed by science, but I talked about like burning fat and your body, you can like, create simultaneous fat release where you're like burning fat all over your body and stuff like that. And then Facebook's like, yeah, it's fine. And I'm like, how? But it's like, oh yeah, because we're spending however crazy amount of money per month. And so, I guess there's definitely that part to it too. It's not a fair game when it comes to Facebook, to be sure. But okay, so I got like, Pet Honesty here as one of the competitors. So let's see. What are the value props here? Like, so like help keep your pets, it's pretty basic, but just let's put that there. That's just sort of like a broad one. Limited time offer. These are all from today. They're testing these variants, obviously, all these 10-in-1 multivitamin ones. I just want to keep going through, let's see. Help improve occasional environmental food, skin and seasonal allergies in your pup. Facebook's being all weird again and only showing me like really recent ads. That's super annoying. But let's look at another one. Let's look at Zesty Paws. Zesty Paws. There we go.
It's also
So
in certain internet forums, just in case anyone was wondering. Zesty
What'd you say?
Paws. That's also my username in certain internet forums. Zesty Paws. Yeah.
Zesty Paws. People are like, it's that's not great. That's good.
Yeah. Gave it a lot of thought.
So let's just see. They got a lot of really direct sales stuff here. Fun of functional pet supplements. These ads are kind of suck, honestly. And what was the other company I had? It was like the Honest or Pet Lab Co. Let's see what Pet Lab Co. Let's try this one to start. They're a little bit more direct response oriented on these guys. She started run
More
again.
native, too.
What do you say, Frank?
They look more native too, which isn't necessarily always a good thing.
Yeah, you're right. This looks more like a native ad. What's it play on one of their videos?
Our dog Zeke, he has had multiple health issues, ranging from ears to allergies to GI issues. He was shaking his head a lot, scratching at his ears. On top of that, when we would pet him around his ears, he would yelp. His ear looked and smelled terrible. So I started doing some research into how to prevent them and maintain your dog's ear health. That's when I came across Pet Lab Co.'s probiotics and decided to give it a shot, see if it would help Zeke out. He loves them because he seemed to be a lot healthier and have more energy and not be in any discomfort or pain based on his improved ear health. So we're big believers in Pet Lab Co. and we plan to keep giving them to Zeke. So
No, good for Zeke,
My man Zeke, dude, I want to rewrite that thing for them, leave the video alone, and change the headline, which Facebook calls the primary text because they hate us. But the top copy, whatever, just change that to "Watch this if your dog has itchy ears."
Yeah,
and then
love that.
What they call the headline, which whatever the hell it is, the thing at the bottom, I would have like, click here if your dog has itchy ears, or the cure for itchy dog ears. And I bet it would smoke.
Yeah.
And I just run it to people who like dogs, like everybody.
So I like what the dog space is that, yeah, everyone knows dogs spending lots of money on them, right? And yes, a lot of their a lot of stuff's user generated content. Like when was the last time you inspected your dog's teeth? Right, but then actually, so here's what I'm thinking about. Like, right, if I'm here and I'm like, all right, like relieve itchy ears, better breath, and less gross teeth. But okay, so say that our thing again is like for someone that's gonna, give them more energy and their joints. Even if like if even my supplement honestly was really focused on the dog's joints, part of the joints is because you want your dog to have more energy, right? So, and in the copy it might be like something around like more joints or help to support their joints so that they're bouncing around like a puppy, jumping up onto the bed, getting up and down and have like more energy. So really like what I would do, I can keep showing you examples here, but honestly, like, I would just go to like answer the public like we looked at yesterday, right? And I'd start looking at like I think about okay like dog breath. I'd look at like low energy dog, like low energy. And then also what I would start doing is I start thinking about like because I would research more like any single food I can imagine. I'd be like, does like this food affect like a dog's joints, right? Does are a dog's joints and bad breath related? Like I would basically just be researching everything I can. So any question, the whole point of the strategy is any question like a dog owner has about their dog's breath, their teeth, their itchy ears, all that, I would basically answer that and then somehow pivot it back to like joint, like the dog joint stuff in the actual VSL. Does that kind of make sense? Because I think if you do that, like you can just sort of have an unlimited amount of prompts, and like people are just interested in stuff about their dogs. It's not like just that their dog's joints are like they want to know all about their dogs. So like, let's look at any good questions here. Like okay, dog low energy but eating. Like, what does it mean? Like if your dog has low energy but still has an appetite, right? There you go. Start of an ad. Like 5 reasons your dog might have a low energy level, right? And you can just go online, find a forum, like here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A lot of times it could be that their joints are actually stiff and sore, and what you think is low energy is that it hurts for them to move, right? Boom. Okay. Like now, like you can, crush it with that. And you can talk about like the 5 reasons why, right? Let's keep going. I mean, there's a lot of just very specific stuff. I'm actually go all the way down to like this thing here, the A to Z. Dog low energy shaking, right? Like, what does it mean when your dog starts shaking, right? Like you literally just answer almost like a shit ton of these questions. You can also look in Google like keyword tools and things like that too. But you can just like answer these questions and just tie it back to like joint health again and again and again, right? And so, and this is just one, right? Going back to digestive stuff, like when I did like let me show you all another example of this. Like let's do poop, right? Going back to poop, what Gundry is doing, because who doesn't want to talk about poop a bunch, right? On a high level training call.
Just yeah, that's what you get, ladies and gentlemen. That's how we get you.
Yeah, Stefan and Frank talk poop. One cup.
Nothing weird about it at all.
One cup.
You dare judge us.
Right. So.
Oh my god.
But right, this is always so great for like the gut niche. And again, but you got to talk about your dog, like what your dog's poop says about its joint health, right? So you can still even though you do, this is human poop, but like, right. I mean, some of them are such weird, like are poop fumes toxic? That could be a great ad for Gundry though, right? Like, what does it mean when your poop smells bad? Like, is it like just the, gross kind of inconvenience or an embarrassing inconvenience, or is it actually bad for you to breathe in the air? Well, blah, 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 right? Are poop stains dangerous? I don't know who felt that they need to Google that one, but it's remarkable. I'm not gonna lie, using this tool, because again, this is a tool people are like searching this stuff often, and that's why these things are coming up. And it does depress you about humanity a little bit sometimes, for sure. But the colors, right? Can poop be green? Can poop be red? Can poop be white? So like, what does it mean if you have green poop, right? What does it mean if your dog's poop is green? Can poop kill you? Can poop clog a toilet? Like, well, who Googles that? How do you not know that poop can clog a toilet? Apparently you've never had a good big meal before. You're asking that question. I don't know too much, but right? What poop color means? What poop says about your health, right? What your dog's poop says about its joint health. Boom, right? Like, how poop travels through the body, right? How poop fast? Going here. when poop floats, like, I guess for humans, right, a good gut one, like, should your poop sink or float, right? Like, what floating poop means about the health of your gut. Well, like, have allergies, here's why your floating poop might be to blame, right? There's so many things you can just start doing, because again, you're just tying, because if you go research it and you're like, all right, like, why is poop float? And say, well, there's not as much fiber, so it's not as dense. And by the way, you're like, okay, if your diet doesn't have enough fiber in it, like, does that increase allergies? And you find some study that's like, yeah, it does. You're like, oh, perfect, boom, I bridged it all together, right? Like, same with dog joint health too, right? Like, I mean, if you just search like dog poop green, right? Like, I could be like, why is my dog's poop green? 4 possible reasons. So let's look at it, right? Look at that dog pooping. Got to have a dog pooping on the forum here. So, well, I love I always use examples of poop in them. It's just, I'm 36 years old. I mean, just whatever, All right.
I just really like, I would pay attention to that, especially the ear thing, because my dog, his ears always bothering him. He's a French bulldog, so he can't even reach his ear because whoever invented that dog breed is a sadistic and horrible person. So, dog people freaking, they're kind of rabid. That Nietzsche's rabbit is as silly as it might seem. This is all valid in my opinion.
Oh yeah, definitely. Okay, so it could be they ate too much green stuff, or they're missing something nutritionally from their diets, right? Ooh, look at that. Well, and by the way, if like your dog's missing nutrients, like some of those nutrients could be what support healthy joints. And so if your dog has some like stiff joints right now, like, don't you want to make sure you're giving them a complete nutrition from A to Z? Well, like, we've got like the solution. Here's a new breakthrough that can actually give your dog the vitamins and nutrients it needs while supporting healthy joints, so your dog stays young, energized, and healthy. Click learn more now to see how it works, right? There you go. Ad done. Easy P. I was writing ads like verbatim. So the fucking Fantasia, Mickey Mouse and Fantasia. But like, it's really like that easy, I think, when you like go through this stuff here. Let's look at another one. Has ingested a toxin. I don't want to tell people that their dogs have ingested toxins, but there are toxic foods you can go look at and be like, and by the way, they're also related to joints, right? Boom. Parasitic infection, well, that'd be, or infestation, that'd be good for a probiotic or gut health one. Intestinal tract medical issue, like, well, how does your dog's GI tract affect like their joint health? I bet you could find a link to it, right? How does dogs GI tract affect joint health? What's crazy is you'll just find like right here, gut microbiome of healthy and arthritic dogs. What I found as a copywriter, side note, is like I can basically just Google like 2 anything things, especially in health, and there's like, here's the connection. They've done like a study on it, right? It doesn't make sense. Like gut health and joint health are related. So you could literally just go on this whole rabbit hole of like ads about dog poop, poop color, green poop, toxins, digestive tract. Maybe your dog, what happens when your dog eats grass, right? Why does my dog eat grass? Like, well, it could be a sign that their joints are aching. Here's how to know. Click the video and watch, right? Boom, done. So I want to share this kind of like strategy with you all, because like really all you're doing is you're finding FAQs around like a broad interest, right? Like for like dogs and dog health and dog diet and why dogs have behaviors, in this case, for the dog example. And then you're literally just linking it to whatever the offer would be or VSL would be. But you could do this for other niches too. We saw it with Golden Hippo and human health, but it could also be like, what are the best side hustles, right? How much do people on Upwork really make on average? What are the 3 best, careers for people who want to work from home? Like whatever it is, there's if you can do this for any vertical or category really, and just answer FAQs in your ads and then transition to whatever it is you're selling. But Golden Hippo does it with like so many of their ads and all of their brands, and I don't see other people doing it that often. And to me, I feel like it's kind of a lost opportunity, because it gives you an endless amount of things to talk about, and you're getting engagement. People are watching the ads, you're getting them curious. It's a little bit different than your dog whistle, Frank, so to speak, because it's a little bit, but also not, because if you're still talking about dogs, right? It's like if they're interested in dog health and they're watching like for a minute, 2 minutes of your ad, if it's a long ad even, and then you know that you can sell them more stuff for dogs. Like obviously they're interested in dog health at that point, right? So
Clearly.
Yeah. So I just really like
and
this. Yeah.
I do the dog whistle thing literally just because I don't feel like being a creative copywriter. And we have this, extremely lucky period of time where we have access to this machine learning that can do a lot of the heavy lifting for us. So I wouldn't advocate against writing these type of ads at all, especially in a retargeting environment.
Yeah. Yeah, and we're gonna get to your retargeting stuff a bit later today too. So it's like a good little tease. Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
So I mean the ad idea hooks, like I didn't write any here because I feel like I said like 55,000 of them. But are you all following me in like kind of what I'm teaching here with this and why this makes sense and like what we're doing here? Put in the chat if you get it, or if you feel like you're like, what the F are you talking about stuff, and I can always re-summarize or something. Cool. All right, good. But at least decent amount of people. Yeah, build ads based on FAQs by your market. Exactly. That's really in summary what I'm saying. And showing some, examples of where to find that stuff. And, yeah, and to go, I think Liz asked about if you use Reddit for questions. I mean, yeah, I think you could really, Reddit, like forums, what I teach for RMBC and going to forums and seeing what people are asking. You can go to competitors' products and look at FAQs for that. But really just building ads around FAQs enables you to have a really large, universe of ads to create. So if everyone's cool on that, I want to kind of go look at other ad types as well. So are these ads kind of like bridge pages, which would bring people to the same copy, or do you need different pages? So Sean, I mean, like for me, they're like not bridge pages in that they're like bridges in the ad, I guess, right? So look at the Golden Hippo examples. It's like, you pick any topic and you just need to bridge from the answering the FAQ to whatever the pain point your product solves in, and then, but you could just do it like in an ad. You don't have to make it like a 60-minute ad. So it could be like, what does it mean? If
Dude, how many guys are like dorking out right now going, man, I wonder what would happen if I put my entire webinar on there as an ad? It never
Yeah,
occurred to me to do that, but now I want to do it totally. I'm like, wait a minute.
you actually
Because
should.
those guys don't mess around. Like they make and this is an actual unit of measurement, a metric butt ton of money over there if they go to
Great.
read headquarters.
Great metric.
Yeah, it's a real.
Yeah.
I learned that at the University of Georgia. It's a real unit of measurement.
And just to be
metric.
clear on this, like a lot of people, yeah, I know some other big dogs as well, especially in the health space, do it this way, but I haven't seen people. I'm trying to think, who was it? Someone in the biz op space was running like, so they were doing it on YouTube for a while, right? Even the dating space, they would run like their whole VSL as an ad on YouTube, and then YouTube started penalizing people if their ads were over 10 minutes, so they couldn't do it anymore. So YouTube kind of like got wise to it, but Facebook hasn't yet. But I haven't seen a lot of people in like, internet marketing, like education, coaching types of spaces test running the whole VSL as an ad. I'd be very curious if you actually did that, Frank. Like, because I'll show some examples in a minute. For example, Jay Abraham is running like 6 or 10-minute videos, but it's literally just him teaching the whole time. Like that's the whole ad, is just him providing value, and it's like clips from him on stage. But like, it'd be curious if you just ran like like an hour and a half webinar as an ad. I'd love to see what happens. That'd be so interesting. You should do that. Report back.
My gosh.
Yeah. And then I won't miss the, by the way, if for all you, I've had a couple people DM me so far, but please put your stuff in chat to everyone, so that way everyone can see the questions and stuff. Let's keep going through, right? What does it mean if your dog's poop is green? Like, should, again, I'm gonna use you gotta say, should dog owners worry, right? Like, should dog owners, like, or how do, like, how to do it? I mean, I'm always on the spot. Like, should you worry if your dog's poop is often comes out green? Like it depends. Like, while there's nothing wrong with the occasional green poop, in some cases it could be a sign that something more serious is going on inside your pups or your dog's like inside your dog, actually inside your dog. And then frankly, if I was doing like the golden hippo thing, right, it'd be like sort of like watch. I'm trying to think exactly. Let me go back to them real quick. So I just modeled them. So yeah. You know, and then like, so if I was doing a video ad, right, I'd be like, you know, nutritional or like vet, like, you know, star vet, doctor, so, and so, you know, reveals the answer. And then the script would be something around like, sort of like, you know, like the video script would be like, yeah, what does it mean if your dog's got green poop? Well, you know, there's 4 things going on. Like one could be, and I could literally just take it from this forum, right? And be like, you know, sometimes your dog just ate something too much of something green. Like, for example, this. Sometimes, you know, it could be your dog's, you know, ingested a toxin. Now, usually, hopefully that's not the case. But if you think is what happened, always consult a vet right away, take them to veterinary care. You know, a third reason is that sometimes dogs have parasitic infestations. And that sounds gross, but it's actually at the end of the road, often, you know, veterinary care, whatever it is. Or, you know, a fourth reason is that your dog might have some kind of issue in their intestinal tract. You know, like maybe it's bloating or gas, or maybe they just don't have enough healthy probiotic bacteria. But what you may not know is that these issues in their gut can also affect a lot of other things with your dog, including their mood, their breath, their shedding, and even their joints. So in fact, if you have a dog who's older and starting to slow down more, and like, you know, you're worried that maybe their best days are behind them, then, you know, I want you to watch this important video because I'll share like, you know, 3 easy things you can do right now to help support the health, mobility, and energy of your dog, no matter what age they are. And even better, it only takes a few seconds to do, right? So now you've done like your ad up above that, right? And then you've got like, that's like your video script, and you literally just like took this, kind of went through it, and then can push them off to the VSL. So it doesn't need to be like or the landing page. It can be, or go to this website and, you know, you can read these 4 things or the 3 things you can do, whatever. So you can just sort of, you know, in that case, it's like an ad. It's just an ad, right? So that's like is it a bridge page? It's like an ad. You could also do this, do what I just said there verbally, and then have it, instead of saying go to here, like keep watching, and then it goes into the VSL and you run the VSL as an ad. So it's not like a bridge page. It's just like basically you're bridging to whatever, you know, the main sales copy is going to be. And it could be, that sales copy could be presented as an ad itself, or it could be presented on another page that you tell them to, like, you know, click the button or whatever and go see more of. So hopefully that makes sense.
And I can't believe you just riffed that whole thing.
Yeah.
That was ridiculous.
I'm not gonna lie, I feel like I should just like record myself, and I could probably write sales copy so fast, and like the voice to text, you know, I should really probably just do that. I don't know why I waste all this time.
Dude, I've
using
done
my
that
fingers.
and it worked.
Really?
That actually works. Yeah. So you do it on your phone, on the voice memo thing on your phone, then you
Right.
upload it to like Rev or whatever and get it transcribed. And then like, you know, you look at it, and if it's good, then you just redo it while reading what you said. And like, then you take the recording of that, the sound recording of that, use a service called Veed, VEED.io. And you can just upload the audio, and it'll transcribe it, and it'll make it into a VSL for you. So you can just have like white text and some black background or whatever. I've got winning VSLs that I run as like upsells and things where that's exactly what I did.
That is tight. I'm gonna watch the replay of this to get the Veed and all that, so make sure I get all those links. But yeah, I love that. That's awesome. Hell yeah, make my life a lot easier. I should probably do it. There you go, v.io. Okay, cool. And then Misty, I know you asked, is the approach much different if you don't go for video? You know, I haven't finished yesterday's video, but Frank was saying he does use, you know, he uses images, and does this work for a service-based business? So yeah, I think like really it's a similar approach, because you could just answer, you know, reveals the answer like, you know, like basically, in like, for the first time ever, like go see this full breakdown of what the color of your dog's poop says about their health or whatever it is. And then you'd have to do for this variant that you send people to, though, you would obviously want to have, if you look at VSL or an econ page, you would need to have something at the beginning. It doesn't have to be a whole like bridge page or advertorial. We'd have to add in a version that sort of says something about like their dog color poop. You'd have to make it congruent, because if we just had this and then like it went to like a VSL that has nothing to do with dog poop, right? Then you people what the hell, right? So you'd have to like answer that. But but overall, no, you don't need like a video ad for this or anything. And then as far as for like service-based businesses, like for sure. I mean, dude, think about like, sorry, I was calling you dude this week, but like think about like a roofer, right? Like or something like that. Like, how often should I replace my roof? Is like aluminum roofing better or tin roofing? Like our home roofing warranty is actually worth it. What happens if how often does wind really rip the shingles off your roof? I mean, there's so many FAQs that a roofer could do, or for solar, or like really any vertical or niche. I mean, there's people have common FAQs for any vertical or niche, whether you're selling a physical product or you're a service provider. The strategy could work for all of that. So
how to know if that stain in the ceiling is from a roof leak or something wrong with one of your utilities.
Yeah, love that.
Yeah, used to be a roofer.
That's nice. I'm proud of that. I think I knew that, but then forgot.
So Stefan, just so I
yes.
understand, if it were for a service-based issue and say, go see his full breakdown of what the color of your dog's poop says. So then are we gonna lead them to a landing page where they get an actual document? I think that's where I'm getting a little lost.
Right. That's a fair question. So yeah, the way I would do it, I mean, it would depend on your objective, right? So say you had a pet supplement you're selling or something like that, right? I would basically, if it was an ecom page, for example, I'd find a way in like the headline or early on the copy to talk about, I'd add a couple of lines that were like, tying in your dog's poop to like, to joint pain, right? If you're doing joint pain. So, it could be like, you could also send to an advertorial or like a bridge page. To that point, you could send to a bridge page where it's like, 3 things your dog's poop says. It's like a 200-word bridge page. At the end of that kind of bridge page mentions how like, joint health, mobility, and energy. And then from there, it clicks over to the VSL or the econ page that then talks more about joint health, mobility and energy, if that makes sense. So you'd have to figure that out so it's congruent. It doesn't need to be like a free report though. It could still be like, they click over to like, they're like a bridge page / advertorial. Or if it was like a VSL, for example, you would need to record like a, kind of what Gundry does with their videos. You would want to record like a minute or 30-second opening or whatever that makes it congruent, and then keep going. So yeah, generally,
so it's a service business. It will depend on your sales process. So the sales process ultimately involves like someone going to the house and like, let's stick with a roofing example. They go to the house and, all right, yeah, you got a roof leak, or no, dude, it's actually your air conditioning condensation around the vent that's causing the leak. Then your lander is ultimately going to be selling the call to get someone to go check it out. And so the lander would be like, okay, here's the deal. You got these brown spots. It could be one of these 5 things. The only real way to know is to have someone come out there and take a look at it and see. But a lot of times it's not actually the roof, which is good news. It could save you some money. But if you don't fix it, then it could turn into black mold, and that could make your kids sick and the end of the world. And then everyone's going to die and everything will be horrible. And it'll be your fault. So you should probably call us, or else the terrorists will win. I wouldn't use that exact copy, but that's the kind of thing you say,
So would we be able to give you like a specific example? I don't want to take you off what you're already doing, but if say it were a telemedicine type of an appointment and we're trying to get people to contact someone to get them interested in maybe having a service or selling them a product, same approach then.
Yep. Totally.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Yeah.
Welcome.
By the way, Frank, who's the king of that is like pest control companies. Like they've actually hijacked Google. I don't know if you've noticed this. It's the most frustrating thing ever. Like I'll go like common snakes, Phoenix, let's say, right? And then literally every result that comes back will be like phoenixsnakeremoval.com. There is reptile.guide here. Okay, it's not gonna do it as much as it normally does, but I swear to God, when I do this on my phone normally, are like types of scorpions. What I usually end up finding is basically these guys have like Western Exterminator, Green Home Pest, the Pet Enthusiast, House Doctor AZ, Budget Brothers Termite, azpoison.com. And it's literally like every single one of those sites is like, yep, like it's a scorpion and it's gonna kill you and your family and your kids and your dog. And even if it's not, it probably will, so call us today. But it's kind of, you just remind me of that because like I'm like Google works for the most part, but I swear to God, these like exterminators have just like totally like hijacked first pages of Google. And every time I stick a snake, I can never just find out if it's like a gardener snake or like a coral snake or something like that. Because instead I've got like, 10 rattlesnakes that kill in Arizona. And I'm like, just, you guys suck. Anyway, that's in this tangent, but it's kind of funny.
They're definitely coming for you. The snakes are coming for you.
Well, that's always what it is. It's always like,
work.
yeah, they're gonna kill you. Like, you better call us right away, or everyone's just gonna die. Like, you like your dog? Better give us a call. All right, cool. So, everyone feeling good about this strategy? Scorpion's got a knife, Peter. Everyone feeling good about the FAQ stuff? Kind of making sense how that works and all that good jazz. And I guess Phil said a minute ago, so I won't make everyone put it in the chat again. If you don't feel good about it, put something in the chat. Don't be shy. But otherwise, we're going to move on and go through these other main ad types. And I want to show just some different examples. Yeah, well, that's a great idea. Okay, cool. So the 1 minute summary is you're really just finding FAQs that your kind of target market has related to the niche that you're serving, right? So for example, in the pet space, even though maybe your thing's about joints, you just want to find a bunch of FAQs that dog owners have about their dogs and their dog's health. So it could be like breath, fur, allergies, color of their poop. What does it mean when your dog barks loudly at other dogs? All that kind of stuff. Then you're finding a way to tie that or bridge it to joint health. So if you go, for example, why does my dog bark so much? You can find something there. It's like sometimes dogs bark a lot because they're actually in pain, right? And you're like, oh wow. So like, hey, why does my dog bark more than other dogs? Well, there's a lot of reasons. We're not saying it's because of this. It could be this, or this. Sometimes it's because your dog is actually suffering from pain. It could be related to their joints mobility. And really, if you've noticed your dog slowing down, it goes back to the same thing every time, right? Your dog's kind of slowing down, not as much energy. Maybe they seem like a little bit startled and their behavior's more erratic. It could be because there's something going on inside your dog. And they're not getting the nutrition they need. Like, we've created a free presentation that shows you 4 ways to be able to, help support your dog's health and nutrition, blah, 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 right? So now we're away from the dog barking. That was just like our sneaky little way of like bringing us over here. But it's like questions that your market's asking. So you're really just answering FAQs that your audience has about, your niche has about like whatever the category you're in is, like, so again, like dogs or roofing or whatever, answering it in a way that then bridges the gap and brings you over to like the solution, right? Or to your product in the VSL or ecom page or landing page or whatever it is, your free report, whatever it is, right? And if you need a little copy on that landing page to sort of make it congruent, you can put it there. But that's the strategy, and it enables you to run just a buttload of ads. So yeah, cool. Thanks for a good call, Owen, for me to sum up here. And then Sean said, would you say the FAQ strategy is stage 2 awareness and dog whistle copy is stage 3 awareness? That's an interesting question. What do you think, Frank?
I don't understand the question.
That's a hard question, so I was just trying to throw it to you. I mean, it's like the breakthrough advertising, Eugene Schwartz, like different levels of market awareness. Yeah.
I think everybody's already at like whatever the worst stage is. I think the entire world has already arrived at that stage because of the internet.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, what is stage 5? Is like where they already know everything and skeptical and they hate everybody. Yeah. Pretty much, I think everybody's already there. So
yeah, I think that's fair.
Yeah.
I mean, because I guess, like I like breakthrough advertising and the framework's cool and it's a good book. But I never really worried too much about the stages of market awareness. I mean, it's like if your market, like, okay, like intent-based keywords, right? You're running like a branded keyword thing. People are searching like buy, the ads madness masterclass, right? Okay, sure. then I'm like, my landing page for that on my AdWords page, so they, when they click on it, is going to be pretty like, you want the course? We got the course. Here's the course, right? So I am going to take into account the level of market awareness there, that they're like aware of our solution and they want it and all that kind of stuff. But unless like someone's really like buyer intent, like trying to buy my specific product, then I kind of like assume I still got to do a good amount of work and sell them on stuff. You know what I mean? Like I keep it pretty sneaky no matter what. And I kind of like build into it and then kind of like go through my process of unique mechanism of the problem, solution, all that kind of stuff. That's sort of the way I approach it.
Seems to be working pretty good with your $1 billion in sales.
It's all right.
Fancy.
It's fine.
Hey, I sold dozens of dollars worth of stuff. So
dozens of dollars of sales.
Multiple dozens. Okay.
There you
not
go.
At once.
Look out.
Not the same day. But
yeah, you're not a guru here.
man, come on.
Let's just look at some other ad styles. I don't think we'll have to go to, we won't take forever on these. It's just fun to look at more ads. And then, I want to kind of get Frank's opinion on stuff. I just think this will be fun. And then we'll move from there into Frank's educational setup and retargeting. So one type is like, these are the different types I have up here, right? Contrarian, curiosity, direct value proposition, social proof, comparison, why you're better than the competition, the personal story, topical, urgency, and educational. And the one thing I would say is this is almost like a checklist where if you're not a checklist, but imagine a grid. I honestly should have done this, but I could do it for Google Sheet where like the more of these things an ad can check off, the better it can sometimes be. Now that's not always true because you could have an ad that's just trying to do way too much stuff and it becomes confusing and overwhelming. But sometimes you're going to have some overlap, right? If you could have a contrarian ad that also, has curiosity, leverages some social proof, briefly tells a personal story, and then has some urgency, and maybe even learn a little bit, right? That could be a really good ad. So it's not like there's just the way I have these out here is more so like, here's the main way I would identify this ad, right? And it can help you as you're going to write ads if you're like thinking about, well, what's my goal? What's my style? That's all I'm going to try to do is help with like prompts. Like what kind of ad am I trying to do? So like contrarian here, let's go to our boy Roland.
Rolando Frazier.
Yeah, Rolando Frazier.
That's
So
the proper way to pronounce his name.
I think so. Yeah, I didn't know that. Makes sense. Okay, so if we got Roland's ads here, get the roadmap at my link in bio and stop being a dancing bear. Well, I want to watch that, but I'm gonna come back to that. That's some curiosity in a way there. But I saw a good contrarian one here. What was it? Some of these ones like new book. I feel like I'm seeing different ads now than this here. Don't start a business. Yeah, there you go. Right. Immediately, contrarian here. So it says free training. Did you know that in the US, an average of 595,000 businesses permanently shut down each year? That's an average of 1,630 a day. And when they're gone, so are their email lists, customer databases, inventory assets, social media channels, and every other truly valuable asset they built over the years. That's horrible. I said this paranoid thing that I wasn't recording, but okay. As horrible as that is, what if there was a way to identify these businesses before they close? And then he goes on to basically, he does a lot of stuff here, but the reason I'd say it's contrarian is like the thumbnail more than anything like that, which I didn't
The best thing that you can do right now is to think about acquiring new assets and new businesses to put on top of the business that you've already got.
So I mean, honestly, the video isn't like super congruent with like the text ads here, but like as far as the video ad goes, it's contrarian. That's really it. That's all I had for this one. I don't know, Frank, anything you want to add? I'm gonna go through a bunch of examples. So
Yeah, a great contrarian thing is to think about the yeah buts and the what ifs that your market has. So I forgot who the person was. I get my copywriters confused. Maybe John E. Kennedy or Collier. That's talking about really good copy, and there's a conversation going on in the prospects mind. So if we can accept to a degree, it's a obviously broad generalization, that everybody's at the worst stage, which is stage 5, super skeptical, they hate everybody, then the conversation going on in their mind is, this is all a bunch of BS. I've been burned before. I hate everything. So a great contrarian ad is going to be one that addresses that. Like, you're right, Facebook ads don't work. Here's why, and then they're like, what the hell? You know what I mean? And then your ad is like, here's the reasons why Facebook ads fail. Number 1 is the offer. Number 2, there's no follow-up. Number 3, the campaigns aren't set up correctly. Number 4 is going to be the copy. If your Facebook ads aren't working, and it depends on what it is you're selling, right? So if I wanted to sell my email thing, I'd be like, your Facebook ads aren't working, but you're getting traffic to your website. Ain't Facebook's fault. They're doing their job. They're sending you traffic. Your page sucks and your follow-up sucks. Let's fix that. Might say it nicer. But anytime you have a yeah, but, or a what if from a marketplace, and you're seeing a lot of that response to a statement or an offer, address it head on and validate it and then sell around it.
Yeah. Love that. I love the yeah, but. It's a good prompt to use there. Cool. So I want to show the Gundry one about the apples again, just as a reminder, right? That was one that was like, don't eat apples, but you'll see them do that a lot. Don't buy apples before watching this. They do that a lot in the health space, where it's like, like lettuce warning, throw out your lettuce until you watch this, right? Like, don't buy apples before watching this. I mean, if you go to other, if we go back through a lot of them here, they'll like see, where I was showing those. We saw them earlier. Like, they do the same thing with all kinds of ingredients. Like, is kale actually healthy? Like, kale alert. You know what I mean? Like, just stuff like that, right? So very common in the health space as well. So I wanted to show a couple examples of that for contrarian. Again, my goal here is we'll just go through examples for these different types so you can get the wheels turning when you have to write ads. And then I want to get into Frank's glorious stuff afterwards. Okay, curiosity is to me, like, sort of like the king. I love curiosity of a lot of my copy. So like, let's actually start with this Umzu one because Frank's gonna love it. If you've not seen this shit's ridiculous. Actually, I knew Chris Walker. I was in a mastermind with him years back, and then they just have crushed it with this. But let's just watch.
There's a certain strain of bacteria called Lactobacillus reuteri that will help you grow bigger balls. There was a study published in 2014 that used male Wistar rats. These rats have extremely similar reproductive systems as human men. This is why they're commonly used for studies in the reproductive system. In this study, the researcher found that when fed Lactobacillus reuteri, the group of rats actually outperformed the control group on many different biomarkers. And these biomarkers included preventing age-related ball shrinkage, significantly increased ball size when compared to the control group, significantly increased ball weight when compared to the control group, significantly increased T levels when compared to the control group, increased social domination when compared to the control group, increased activity of the HPA axis.
Okay. It keeps going from here. 20 million views, right? Like, this thing like crushed it. And obviously there's an immediate curiosity thing when he leads with like balls. You could argue that there's like an educational component. He's talking about a study and highlighting it. Also, what they're really trying to sell, what's very funny, they're trying to sell like a probiotic digestive thing. A lot of their stuff's around like pooping. They're trying to sell it to like men interested in increased testosterone, but it's hard to sell like testosterone like supplements and things like that, right? Like at scale compliantly on YouTube and Facebook. So they're kind of going with like ball size, which for whatever reason YouTube is cool. And going back to Frank's stuff earlier, right? You can't say like, hey, this will help you run like ads and do well, but like, talk about ball size and all day long. But yeah, I don't know, I love this ad. It's a great curiosity ad. It's so funny.
This is the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen.
Yeah,
Clearly for dudes that are like under 60, you hit 60, then the guy's talking about weight and everything. Wait, I don't want any more of this. Let's go to any gym locker room and you'll be like, wait a minute, I might not want this to happen.
I don't want like, not to make it TMI, but I don't really want bigger balls. But apparently, enough people did.
We're still talking about the ad. Like, I definitely would watch the rest of this ad because
definitely
it clearly worked and it's hysterical.
Yeah. They had a couple of great ones like this. Some of them, you probably go through Chris's stuff, but this was unlisted. So I think I found it through VidTal originally. But yeah, so just great. It's educational. curiosity, but curiosity first, and it does educate as well, right? Mudwater is another sort of supplement company that they sort of do, just the opening line does this. I actually like Mudwater's branding a lot. Gotta give people what they want, Peter said.
The thing that's different
This is
about a Verbo
not
vacation
Mudwater.
home,
This is our VRBO
you always
one.
have the whole place to yourself.
I'm about to drink some mud, and I think you should too. People often ask us why we are called Mudwater.
Okay, so it doesn't seem that good, but like 5 million views. But just the immediate I'm about to drink some mud is enough for people to keep watching because they're hooked in for a minute because there's curiosity there, right? And then he sort of goes on. I'll play a few more seconds of it so you can check it out.
And I get it. Drinking something called mud sounds a little iffy. I stopped eating dirt when I was 5 years old. If you're making your purchase decisions based off of the name of the product, you're not alone. It's why our shelves are full of bad-for-you products with good-for-you sounding names. Instead of playing the cute name contest, we decided it's what's inside that counts, and it's proximity to the earth that matters. Mudwater is a blend of cacao, masala chai, turmeric, cinnamon, and 4 mushrooms, all grown in California. It's organic, gluten-free, vegan, kosher, non-GMO, and Whole30 approved. And with 1/7 of the caffeine of coffee, you get energy, focus, and immune support without the jitters and crash. It's tastier than it sounds, and it's healthier than it tastes. And it comes with a free frother. So what are you afraid of?
So honestly, I actually really like Mudwater. They're very polarizing because some people watch this guy and they just immediately hate him. Like you look at the comments, they sort of feel like he's just like out there doing ayahuasca in the desert all the time, sort of like, you know, weird dude. But like it's also very like organic feeling. It's cool. It's just him in the kitchen. But the reason I'm sharing that one is again that opening kind of line about drinking mud. So that's what I found, especially if YouTube, honestly Facebook too, and all ads, it really is like that first 5 seconds, that first 10 seconds. If you hook them for that first few seconds, then you know, you can get away with a lot after that, including this dude just chilling and talking. So
Dude seems fine to me. Like, what's wrong with taking a bunch
I watched more of his
ayahuasca in the desert?
videos. He just seems so fucking stony in some of his videos. I have another one later on you can see. He's just like, but some people love that, right? They're like, I love this guy. I want to be his like best. I mean, I like him too. He's just like, I don't know. I feel like you feel like you know it. It feels like your friend's friend or something like that. Like, I don't know. But that's not a bad thing. It's just funny. It's like the guy's got a very certain sort of style he gives off, you know?
Yeah.
I would do ayahuasca with him in the desert. I mean, I haven't done ayahuasca, but if I was gonna try it, this would be the guy, you know?
Oh my God, you couldn't pay me enough to take ayahuasca.
Yeah, you should never take ayahuasca. I feel like you'd have such a panic attack. You'd have such a meltdown.
I think I might have one right now. Yeah, just thinking.
Literally just thinking about it. Yeah. Oh man. All right. Okay, so we had contrarian and we had curiosity here. Let's look at direct value props. So all these are is my way of being like there's sort of a direct like sales pitch in the ad, right? So let's look at the farmer's dog. Pull up ads library for these guys. So, oh yeah. Dog food should be food, not burnt brown balls. Switch to a smarter, healthier pet food today and get 50% off your first box. Right? It's a really simple ad. Cute picture of a dog, picture of the product. Sign up now for 50% off your product, starting at $3 a day. I like these guys are doing really well. They're crushing it. I really love the pet space if you can't tell. But like this is a good vertical. But super direct and good. And a lot of their ads will like run that way. If we actually just go to their let's go to why did I go to what issues, elections, or politics? Why would that be what I want for the farmer's dog?
That's what they're all about.
These dogs are secretly running the country. It's puppy Illuminati.
They really are. You got to watch them.
So 50% off the first box, 50% off the first box, right? So they don't. Some of their ads are not that way. Look at this cute one. Look at this cute little dog with his glasses. But I bet this one crushes because of the cute glasses. But they have other types too. We'll actually come back to them. But like this is a good account, I think, because they have a good style. They have like sort of the user generated content type things. Politics, Ben Marcuse said. Ben. So funny. Direct value props, all that kind of stuff, right? So yeah. I'll come back to this one here. I grabbed one from Cole. Let's go Cole Gordon's here. Okay, we took on 527 clients last month. Here's how. This is like weird. The way this is like formatting is a little bit different here. But 30 minute for one, 5-minute video. Here's how. The value prop on this one is like actually the ad. That's why I picked this one, because the value prop is like, I'm gonna show you how to do something in the ad. And so it's like the value prop is like why you should watch this ad. And that's, I guess, an educational ad you would say from there, right? So
it's true. We took our coaching company from 0 to $30 million a year using one 5-minute and 47-second video. Now, that video was actually part of a 3-step system. Number 1, using the right paid media, whether that's YouTube, TikTok ads, or Facebook ads. Number 2 is something I call the 5-minute funnel, which I just mentioned a moment ago. And number 3 is 100% commission-based appointment setters. Pretty cool, right? So, if that sounds interesting, here's my offer to you. If my team came in and helped you install...
And he's actually just like literally reading the same text that's in the ad here. But like, you know, so it's kind of curiosity. He's sort of telling you like what they did, but not actually giving you the solution, which I like on it. But like, you know, really social proof who they've worked with. Frank Curran, I've heard of that guy. He's all right. Look at that. You're above D.
Cole's a good dude, by the way. Yeah.
Great dude. I'm gonna see him tomorrow in Miami. And I think he might be on my flight because he lives in Arizona. It was like he's like, I'm flying out tomorrow. I'm like, me too. So I was asking what flight he's on. Will you be next? Click on the link, opt in on the next page, and you'll see a video of that experience they're offering. I mean, you can tell he's been influenced by you, actually, Frank. I think a little bit, and that his ads are very like matter of fact, right? He's sort of educating, very matter of fact. But yeah, I mean, I was just crushing it. They really are doing like 30 million plus per year. It's pretty cool to see. Makes me wonder what I'm doing with my life. It is not MLM. It's actually, so basically like what they do is they have the biz op side where they're teaching people how to be like high ticket closers and do phone sales and stuff like that. And then he goes around to business owners and says, hey, I'll place my people in your business for free. And I think there's something where like, you know, they get a commission over time or something like that for the business owner side, but then they're also, now they have a place to send all the people they're training. So they're basically creating jobs and they're advertising to business owners to put the people they train into their businesses. So it's pretty dope little model, actually.
It is indeed.
It is. Okay. This one I'm going to play really quickly. This is also running on IG. Also, though, this is the former nanny of Laura and I's, and Laura started sending me these videos of Anaya. So she was our nanny for like 6 months. She was actually at the Copy Starter event in Scottsdale last year. And I made the joke, I'm like, God, nanny for internet marketers for like, you know, couple months. And next thing you know, it's like, this is what's going on here. Hopefully this, I'll play the video here. Let's see.
6-figure Airbnb host. Here's what I do. I go on Zillow and I find a home or an apartment for rent. I reach out to the property manager, the landlord, whoever it is, and with their approval, I list it on Airbnb. I now have over 15 listings generating over $250,000. Sign up for my free live masterclass this Sunday if you want to learn how. I'm a 20-year-old,
How crazy is that? That's my fucking nanny. Side note, 222,000 views. She's driving around in a Tesla. 20 years old.
Good for her, though.
I know. I love it.
Yeah, nanny.
You can never keep these damn nannies, though. Like Laura, like our first nanny before Anaya, Laura got her to like break up with her like loser boyfriend, and she started dating her like ex-boss, who was like a entrepreneur, business owner, and now she's doing all this entrepreneurial stuff. And Naya's crushing it. It's like, man, you want to change your life, come nanny for us, but it's terrible for us because we never keep these damn nannies. They just go make too much money. Oh my god, I gotta make an email about that or something though. But I love it, right? It's like great social proof. I gotta text her and be like, hey girl, you know, you need a copywriter. Yeah, but really direct. Sign up for my free masterclass below. God,
we're over here trying to write copy. And she's just calling people going, hey, you mind if I list your place on Airbnb?
I know.
Come on.
Killing it now.
Too hard.
I'm seeing their ads all over the place too. And again, this is running on IG as well, another variant of it. And so I think the copy here is kind of a little bit not even amazing. So many of us only use Airbnb for vacations, weekend getaways, and traveling, but very few of us grasp what it's like to be sitting on the other side of the table. Let's tell you, your first yes is life-changing. So much that we created this live workshop on how you can get your first yes and feel what it's like to be on the other side of the table as an Airbnb superhost without ever owning a property in 5 proven steps. To me, like I don't really know exactly. I think the 5 proven steps, like the first yes, if I'm like really cold, I don't 100% understand what the first yes means. I don't know if you do, Frank, and it's just me. But I think the video doesn't matter because the video is like killer enough that like I don't think it matters. But I'm curious what you think about that copy, Frank.
Yeah, I think the copy's terrible, but
Yeah,
I wouldn't mess with it because it's probably
it's
working.
fucking working. Yeah,
So,
totally.
yeah. Because I'm like, wait, what now? You just call these people and then you get it on Airbnb and you get to screw around all day. That's what I took from the ad.
Yeah, yeah. Drive your Tesla. You're 20, killing it. Honestly,
For her.
yeah. Okay, nanny. Great entrepreneur, apparently. Oh my god. Okay, cool. Sorry, I know this is more amusing to me than for everyone else, but I'm just still like blown away by this because it's so cool that we're seeing these ads from her and she's crushing it. All right, let's move on to like another type here. Let's look at social proof. Got a few more types, and then we'll jump into your stuff, Frank. So, performance golf zone. I want to show you. I'm actually just gonna open their whole ads library. Right, these guys are doing, I don't know, 50, 60 million a year in the golf niche now. I picked this for their Hank Haney stuff. But in golf, especially, a lot of it is just social proof. It's just like people doing, you know, like wow, this fixed my slice, right? Like this is the one shot slice fix. So literally the entire thing is like we can fix your slice in one shot. I think this wasn't actually the one I saved, but probably it will have social proof. So let's hit play and see.
Hi, I'm Hank Haney, and I can fix your slice in less than.
That's actually not. This is different, although it's a good ad. But let me find one of the user-generated content ones here. There's this guy here. Look at this dude. All right.
40 plus years of horrendous shots off of the tee box. That first time that I used that drill, I didn't hit any of those wacky, crazy banana balls. None. You know, that's a huge improvement. That's going to save a lot of strokes.
For the 30 years that I've been playing, I always struggled with a slice.
I don't care if you've been slicing for 30, 40, or even 50 years, and you've tried everything to fix it. My counter slice sequence systematically eliminates the root cause of your slice and automatically rewires your swing to make it impossible to slice.
I saw the.
So it just keeps going with user-generated content, right? But a couple of notes here. By the way, Hank Haney is Tiger Woods' former swing coach, like so super credible guy, like really. But they're not just being like Tiger Woods' former swing coach every time. Why not? Because that's actually not that relatable necessarily, right? Like I'm like, well, Tiger Woods, he's Tiger Woods. I'm, you know, this guy. So I think it's really important to note that they don't actually leverage Tiger's former swing coach in a lot of their ads because for the average golfer, they can actually relate to Tiger, but they can relate to these people. That's a really important point I want to make, right? Another thing I wanted to point out, Frank, is going back to like your ad. If you look at it, like we can scroll through this. It's the same copy and like basically the same call to action in literally every single ad. And it goes all the way back to like July when they were running, right? So 90% of golfers slice. Are you one of them? If so, there's only one real reason why you slice. Haney has the answer. Click below, right? So, I mean, literally keep scrolling. We're in July now. 90% of golfers, 90% of golfers. Keep going here, July 15th. Here they had other stuff running in June, but like what you can tell, going back to how do you know if it's working? Well, especially if you know the kind of volume they do, and then since July 15th, every single ad has had the same copy and just different video creatives. It's a pretty good sign that that copy is working pretty well, right?
Yeah, one would assume. Yeah.
One would assume.
The old math trick, the old math and logic trick. Wait a minute.
Crazy.
A lot of money's been spent on this thing for a long time. That might mean it's working.
It might work. Cool. Let's keep going. I don't want to dominate. Poor Frank. I feel like I just teach for forever, and then I'm like, all right, Frank, your turn. And like go for like an hour and so.
Dude, I feel like I gotta up my game now. I'm looking at like I'm still messed up in freaking Gundry. I'm immediately when we hang up going like I'm gonna call you and be like give me all of their brands. And then I'm gonna hack all their freaking ads. I mean, I guess I can text private, I just don't want to bother. Then I'm gonna go check out what they're doing because that's interesting to me, putting that whole pitch in there as the ad. I want to test that.
And they've been doing that for a while, and for them it's definitely. I mean, I know that it was working really well, and then if they're still doing it. It's got to still be working. They wouldn't, they're too sophisticated. That is it. So it's got to.
They ain't no dummies.
Ain't no dummies. I'll skip this other social proof one because y'all are gonna have access to this doc already do, and so you can look at it. I want to do like at least one more from a couple of these other categories here. So going back to like comparison, so if you look at the farmer's dog people again, I wanted to point this out because they use the same language a lot, which I think is interesting. They talk about burnt brown balls, right? So dog food should be food, not burnt brown balls. Get dog food that's really food, not burnt brown balls. Ditch the overcooked meat pellets and get 60%. So a lot of their positioning is basically around how traditional kibble is gross and yucky and they're real food. Ditch processed meat pellets. So really that's it. Like this comparison is really just them ditch the burnt brown balls. But I would pay attention to that and I'd be like, wow, if they're running the same language and they're a big company and over like months and months and months. And if I was running for this company, I'd be like, let me make sure I'm hammering on, if I had a similar company, I'd be trying to also hammer on how gross traditional kibble is. And maybe I wouldn't copy burnt brown balls probably, but I would try to find my own phrasing, like, like shriveled brown kibble. You know what I mean? I feel like that would be fair enough of a swipe. And like shriveled is a gross word, right? So yeah, I want to share that from a comparison perspective. This is a good ad from Ritual, but people will be able to look at that. I want to switch to the personal story. These are some great ads here. I'm going to do the Lady Boss one and the Ritual one, and I have a couple more, and we'll move on to Franklin.
This is my little angel, but she's also a time-sucking vampire. My morning starts at 4 a.m. to the sound of her laughter. From there, I'm making breakfast, changing diapers, shuttling her to appointments, doing laundry, making beds, and for some reason, removing various types of bodily fluids from places it shouldn't be. And that doesn't even include my actual work day. Now, don't get me wrong. I love her and would do anything for her. But because of her crazy schedule, I haven't been able to eat and exercise the way I know I should, which resulted in me packing on a few pounds. Luckily, I lost 65 pounds a few years back, so I know what it takes to keep the pounds off. First, because moms only eat when we have a free minute, which is never, our metabolism slows down, which causes our bodies to store calories rather than burn them. So in order to jumpstart the metabolism, we need to make sure to eat more frequently and make sure we're getting enough protein because it's the #1 nutrient that speeds up the metabolism. Now, I don't have time to meal prep 20 pounds of chicken every day and sit down for 6 meals. That's why I rely on meal replacement shakes to give me the nutrients I need. But if you're like me, you've tried a bunch of them and concluded that while they may be nutritious, they taste disgusting. I needed something that was good for me and actually tasted good. So
I'm gonna stop this ad, but I love it. I think it's so good. I'm like, I want to know if
really
I like her. I'm like, I'm bought in. It's basically a whole VSL, right? Because it's like talking about her pain points, all that, like had to find a better solution. It's like really like a VSL in 3 minutes, but it doesn't feel like a VSL. You feel like this person you really like and connect to. So I love this ad so much.
It's a good one.
Yeah, it is a good one, right? And then let me show you all, and you can watch the whole thing. You have a link with all these. Here's my mud water guy again. And this one is cool because this one doesn't even feel like an ad. It feels like content, but they've ran. I'm not going to show you guys. I'll show you the first few seconds of it. But basically, 11 million views.
Friends would walk up to me and just be like, "What the f is in your mug?" And I would just tell them, "It's mud."
Anyway, this goes on, but it's a guy's story about how he created mud water, right? It's like the founder story thing, the personal story. It's mud. So I just love the guy. He's just so stony. And then Ritual. This one's really cool. I like this one. This is interesting to me because like
hey everyone,
they got away from.
We are a new
I'll
kind
share,
of doctor's
I'll
office that's doing primary care differently.
Everyone thought I'd fail, and that I couldn't be both a mom and start a company. I was 4 months pregnant when I quit my job to reinvent the vitamin industry. My mom thought it was the hormones. She couldn't understand why else I'd want to waddle all over Silicon Valley with a huge belly, trying to raise money, pumping in the backseat of Uber pools, surrounded by male entrepreneurs. It wasn't the hormones. I believe that women deserve to know what they're putting in their bodies and why. And when I realized a clean, effective vitamin for women didn't exist, I decided to make it myself. Half of all Americans take vitamins daily.
So anyway, this is the ad that really launched Ritual, which is a really big company now. and they have a shorter version that's got like, whatever, 12 million, 15 million views. But I think if you look at like, what's funny with me, these comments, right? Thank you for making these vitamins. Basically, I got these on an impulse purchase because I thought the advertising was pretty good. This ad is actually really pretty and informative. I'd love to see more creative advertisements like this. Just ordered my first bottle. I absolutely love what your company stands for. Thanks so much for going through all the trouble to market. Your brand is transparent. It's refreshing to see. Like, that's what I actually spoke at like a conference where they were at, and I sort of like yelled at them because their website now has none of this shit. It's so scientific and like sort of like cold and sterile. And I was like, what are you guys like doing? Like, you don't have to put this on your homepage. I get it. You're like venture capital backed and like, you're trying to be like a big company for everybody, but they still have like these like, like natal supplements. And I'm like, put that video on the natal supplement pages at least, like clearly this like literally like this ad connected so hard, but it's a great ad. So yeah, I want to share that as an example too. For getting USA, I feel like I'm dominating. What was that?
No, dude, like I find all these ads inspiring. I'm like, man, I really gotta quit being so lazy. Because that show is good. Like I want to know this lady's story now. And the part about her, I've got 4 kids, so I can totally relate, well, as best as a man can anyway, to what that's like being a new mom and going through pregnancy and stuff. And this lady had my admiration at pumping in the back seat of an Uber pool with male entrepreneurs. Right. It's really a freaking hero. I love it.
Yeah, it's so
good for her.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
One topical, I was actually struggling to find more topical like ones today. I was looking through examples.
The world is entering into an economic recession. Market volatility is at an all-time high, and that is when there's a huge opportunity in the market. Most people are learning to trade the stock market during this period, but did you know that the stock market daily volume of $84 billion is nothing compared to the Forex market daily volume of 5.
Okay, so MSI and Forex is like a little suspect to me. And I also love it when it's like a young kid doing this, but 15 million views, which is pretty amazing. And the reason I'm sharing it is less about, I don't really know anything about this guy or anything like that, but the idea being like a recession, inflation, things like that, like putting those into your ads right now could make a lot of sense to do that. So I want to share like an example of something topical, and to me it'd be like recession or inflation type stuff. You could, depending on where you're advertising, political stuff, obviously like Mar-a-Lago raid, but I don't know how you can get away with that. You have to be careful with that stuff, but yeah.
You gotta be careful with the more. I don't watch the news, so I have no idea what's going on with that.
I started reading about it today because I was like, I've been hearing about it, and I was like, I don't have time. I got prepared for the Ads Madness Masterclass. Okay, real quick here. We got this is Ad Road, right? This is a little urgency. Get ready for Ad Road. The clock is ticking. There's a video. I'm not gonna watch the video, but basically like don't miss out. Buy your tickets now. This is urgency. That's really all I showed this. Like the clock is ticking. I mean, they're not saying a specific time that it ends, but they're just sort of trying to have urgency. I mean, Frank, you more on your retargeting. Do you put urgency into your retargeting if you're doing like a deadline funnel? Do you actually put it like in your retargeting ads or more just in emails?
When I'm not being a lazy idiot, yes. So it's a smart thing to do. I don't do it very often, but I also don't go to the gym and I also don't eat well. So it doesn't mean that you shouldn't do it. It's just like, oh yes, let's put this on the list of obvious things that should be done that Kern just refuses to do out of idiocy.
Perfect. Good.
Yeah. Out of spite. Right.
Yeah. Good. All right, cool. And then last one's to be educational. I want to show you guys. Let's go to Jay's real quick, and then I want Frank you to take over because we've been going for way longer than I anticipated. But whatever. I mean, like over deliver.
How dare you?
Jay just put these up today, but they're kind of interesting because literally all of his, I guess they're like sponsored posts, but like they're basically just like him. Like it has like learn mores, right? And like there's a kind of a call to action, but really it's just like videos of Jay teaching for like 6 to 10 minutes, and then that's kind of it. So it's kind of interesting.
Did you ever listen to somebody talk about a great pitcher in baseball and they would say, wow, that guy, he's got so many incredible different pitches? Well, the truth of the matter is he probably doesn't. He's probably got 5 or 6. Fastball, curveball, slow ball, changeup pitch, et cetera, et cetera. Well, everyone knows I have a lot of different concepts, a lot of different strategies, a lot of different philosophies, a lot of different approaches, concepts, ideas, et cetera. But right now, today. Here, I want to share four very powerful, very applicable, very universal principles I think you need to know, and then I think you need to use in your business. Watch and see. First thing is just delivering.
And it's literally just him teaching the 4 things. Like, that's his ad. I love that. You know what I mean? It's cool. It's like, I would watch that as a good content. And going back to like the retargeting and the, like, someone watches a bunch of that, they're probably pretty, good prospect for him, right?
I wonder where it goes.
Let's click on it. The $21.7 billion. Well, there you go. I got some more billions to get to the battle.
You gotta where's the pitch?
Jay Abraham, a marketing.
I mean, he's had that video for a long time. I don't know. It's just like, I don't know. I don't know what his strategy is there. I mean, obviously, try to get people to opt in, raise awareness. Could also be Jay just doesn't know what the fuck he's doing with these ads. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he's a genius. That doesn't mean he's like a Facebook marketing genius. I don't know.
Yeah, it could be someone else running the ads.
Yeah, exactly. All right, cool. So you guys can go through some of these other examples, but Frank, I want to turn over to you so you can go through your framework, and then kind of talk a little bit about how you do the retargeting, and we'll go from there. Obviously, everyone's got this document. If you came late, I'll put it back into the chat. And let me stop sharing so Frank, you can have a turn here. But
cool. Let's do. Hey, you mind if we take 5 real quick? I'm
let's
water
do
down
it.
here.
Do it.
All right,
cool.
It.
We'll be back
in
5, everybody. We'll be back in just a minute or two, everyone. This is the voice of Stefan. All right, he's coming back. There's the man, the myth, the Frank Kern legend.
All right. Oh wait.
Right.
Is this thing on? Hang on a second here. I gotta make sure my headphones connect. Speaker. Hey, dude, say something.
Hello.
You guys coming through my
We can hear
headphones?
you.
Cool. Okay. Yeah, that's working. Just being weird on my control panel. How could it? How dare they? All right.
How
Let's
bizarre.
go.
Let's go.
Share the little screen. Don't break it. You ever notice how close the share button is to the leave button in Zoom meetings? It's like they want to sabotage. You will look stupid, sir, eventually. All right, I guess we'll start. Let me get out of this thing. We will start with the educational framework, which is pretty easy, really. I thought my stuff was cool until I saw these other ads. Now I'm like, wait a minute, these other dudes' ads are cooler. But whatever. This is working very, very well. It's the same framework I used for the ad that I showed you yesterday. I'm about to show you the performance of that ad for the past 2 days. It's been killing it. It's been working really well for a year. Hang on. Okay, so these are educational ads. All right. I built this little slide thingy. Is the slide showing, by the way? Is it on the right screen and stuff? Okay.
Yeah.
You never know. Not dealing with Zoom professionals here. So I built this with YouTube in mind, because I want people, unlike some of the examples we saw, like the mud guy or whatever, I want people to skip the damn ad if they're not interested, because I don't want to pay for it. Where that may or may not be a good strategy based on some of the things we've seen, where curiosity ends up getting a YouTube ad a gazillion views. I'm assuming that those ads converted, but I don't know. But the thing about YouTube, unless they've changed this as in a deliberate attempt to make me look dumb, is if someone skips your ad within like the first 6 or 30 seconds or something, you don't get charged for the view. So I like to be really dog whistle in the copy. So like, this is for people whose dogs have itchy ears or whatever. And so that way, if your dog ain't got itchy ears, you're not going to watch it. And therefore, you're not going to get charged for that view. The next thing I want to do is, like, once I repel the people who it's not for, then I want to attract the ones that it is for. So if you were to go back to yesterday, and I guess you don't have to go back in time to do that. You can just pull up the transcripts. I gave you the transcripts of the video ad that's been running for a gazillion years now. I do that. I repel and then attract. So at the very beginning, my name is Frank Kern. This is an ad. This is an ad specifically for people who sell things on the internet. If that's you, I'm going to do 2 things in this ad. Number 1, I'm going to try to help you. Number 2, surprise, I'm going to try to sell you something. So I'm repelling there and also saying, here's exactly who this is for, and then I go into trying to attract the right ones. So I like to do it, and I really stole this from Gary Halbert, which is by telling them what the hell they're going to learn in the video, right? So again, keep in mind, this is an educational ad, and I like for all of my stuff to be educational when possible. It just works better for me. I feel better about running the ads, and I don't know, the old demonstrate you can help them by actually helping them trick has served me pretty well. So if we were to look back over sales letters and print media ads and stuff that made a whole lot of money, you would notice that there's a pattern among a lot of winners that start with, if you want really big results, and result could be whatever, right? If you want to lose 30 pounds in 10 minutes or whatever, this could be the most important letter you've ever read. Here's why. And then the next section goes on to tell them what they're going to discover in the letter. Essentially, that's what I'm doing in this framework. So, hey, this is for people who, their dogs, I'll start over, sorry. Hey, if your dog's ears are itching, and they're smelling, and it's obviously uncomfortable for your dog, so I'm dog whistle only for people who have that situation, then you're going to want to watch every second of this video. And the reason why is because in this video, you're going to learn, and then we tell them the things that they're going to learn. Like, you're going to learn the root cause of why your dog's ears are itching. You're going to learn an immediate thing that can, at the very least, temporarily get your dog out of discomfort. And you're also going to learn a dead simple way to stop that annoying itch that's driving your poor dog crazy once and for all. So I've just sold them on, all right, here's the stuff I'm going to be sharing with you in this video, right? And of course, the final bullet point there, the thing that's going to stop the dog's itching once and for all, is going to be your dog ear thing. I can't believe I'm on the dog ear thing. I guess because we saw the ad earlier for dog ears. So if appropriate and possible, it's not always necessary to do this, by the way. Like if you're brand new or whatever, like the Mudwater guy, he didn't do it. He didn't have to. But if you've got some, you can establish credibility. Like so in my ad, if you look at the script for it, which I just ad-libbed, by the way, I go on and I'm like, hey, my name's Frank. I've been doing this since 1999. We've helped 82,000 customers and counting. The end. So it's not, you don't need to tell your life story, but if there's a little chunk there that'll help, then use it. You know, if you don't have it, then just skip it. You're going to be okay. Don't make it up. And if you don't have it, don't be like, oh, okay, well now the obviously it's only working because, you know, he's able to make that statement or whatever. No, mud guy, right? Look at the freaking mud guy. The mud dude's not like, hi, I'm Bob, the mud guy, and I'm smart and stuff. You know, he's like, I'm drinking mud. Ain't that some shit? You want some? I mean, that's kind of what his ad said. So you don't have to, right? Like, I always want to be aware of the yeah, but, you know, that might be going on to try to stop overthinking in its tracks when possible. Okay, so I like to teach them something in the educational ad because it's an educational ad. And here's the trick to teaching them something. Don't go like super deep on it. Make it like 3 things that are really easy for them to comprehend, and make it 3 things that can get them closer from where they are now, which is, you know, in the state of my dog's ears itch, to my dog is now happy and his ears don't itch. And this is one of those things we really don't want to be afraid to give away the farm. And let's stick with the dog ear itching thing, right? So, like, I don't know what the hell's going to cause dogs' ears to itch or what the 3 big secrets could be, but it would be very tempting to be like, okay, you know, the dog's ear is made up of 3 inner canals, and sometimes the outer canal can be infected with whatever, and it, like to try to demonstrate your expertise or whatever and sound smart. Don't do that, right? So let's stick with the dog example. One of the things that could cause a dog's ears to itch could very well be allergies. And one of a very common dog allergy could be, you know, like grain or something. And one of the common ingredients in dog food, some dog foods, might be a specific type of grain. So you literally be like, hey, you know what? Dogs are just like us. We all get allergies and stuff. And one of the things that trigger allergic reactions in a lot of dogs, believe it or not, is grain. And you may not realize this, but in a lot of dog food, that's one of the primary ingredients. As a matter of fact, I'm not going to say what the dog food is, but I have 10 dog foods right here. And if we look at the label, grain, 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 I would do jump cuts and that, you know. And so really obvious things like that. So the person watching can be like, oh man, I can just literally stop feeding my dog grain today and maybe he'll feel better. And it's in my opinion, very important to give them something. And I feel like I'm yelling because I can't hear myself talk because I've got these headphones on, so I'm sorry if I am. In my opinion, it's very important to give them a thing that they can do, you know, like they don't have to actually do it, but it is a doable thing that is as simple as, hey dude, stop feeding the dog grains and his ears will probably stop itching. Even if they don't make that shift, at least it's something that in their brain will click and they'll be like, okay, this makes sense to me. And I don't think this person is as full of shit as I thought they were 5 seconds ago before receiving this advice. All right. So that's how you want to do the 3 big secrets thing. Please don't make it overcomplicated. And that's really the best I can tell you with that, you know, and make it very much common sense. All right. So I've been doing this stuff forever, and I'm watching people who make a lot more money than me in this industry, and they're teaching the most brain dead obvious stuff in the world. Like, hey, information products are good to sell. Here's how to make one, and meanwhile, I'm like, all right, here's how to run really hardcore advanced advertising stuff. So always be very, very cognizant of the thing that is your, metaphorically speaking, first language is not their first language. All right. So what I'm really trying to tell you is dumb it down. Okay. Like, make the thing you're teaching like just super obvious stuff, because probably it's not obvious to them. So hopefully that makes sense. And so once you do that, a real easy transition in the pitch is like, hey, if you love your dog and you're really serious about ending the itch in their ears for good, so you never have to see your dog just painfully scratching his ear over and over again, or grinding his ear against the floor trying to get relief, then now you want to transition, right? If you're really serious about taking your business to the next level, transition. If you're really serious about getting into the best shape of your life, transition. And then you state your offer, right? When you click below, you can get, and then now there you are. You're just telling them the thing. And the thing could be lead gen. So you're like, hey, if you're really serious about learning to do this, you can get access to a free webinar right now when you click below, etc. But no matter what it is, whether you're pitching the product, the ear scratching secrets or whatever, or you're pitching the webinar, you want to explain the benefits of it. So not just click, but like, so when you click and when you get this thing, whether it's the webinar or the dog supplement or whatever, here's what's going to happen. Like, this is going to help you because of A, B, and C. And it's really important to do that because you want to pre-sell them. Like, you've already, if you do this part right, you've already built a pretty good amount of goodwill with the viewer because you've actually helped them, using the oldest trick in the book. So they're to a degree pre-sold, but you might as well kind of grease the wheels a little bit by explaining to them the benefits of the thing that they're going to get. And then you give the call to action. So it's really, really basic. And I don't want to spend like 10 years going over it, because if I do, I think all we're going to do is find a very clever way to overcomplicate this process. So I want to show you the retargeting stuff, because I kind of have an assumption in my mind that this is fairly obvious to you. But if it's not, assumptions are very dangerous. If you have any questions about this, ask me now so I can so I don't miss it.
While we're waiting for questions, we'll wait a minute. But yeah, it's funny because the 3 big secrets thing is so true. Even if like I'm trying to do more TikTok content, right? And it's like I have a guy writing scripts for me, and it's sort of like, here's like a secret about copywriting. Like, you need to know who your customer is before you can write copy for them. So it's really important to do research. Like, that's it, right? And I'm like, no, like that's so dumb. But then like, I go look at other people's stuff on TikTok, and it's like that, and then it's like, like whatever, 500,000 views, 1 million views. And I'm like, really? Like, that's so it's funny because like this is obviously for Facebook or YouTube, but the same thing kind of applies for a lot of content, especially in our ADD kind of world now. It's like, it's hard though to not want to, like, I'm such an over explainer and I like an educator and teacher. I know I want to like, flourish and show off my knowledge and really help people. And it's like very difficult to do. So it's almost difficult in simplicity, because it's like you have to restrain yourself from actually like going overboard. I don't know if you find any issues or struggle with that, or
Dude, of course. Yeah, like my webinars never convert worth a shit, and I have to send 8 billion emails after them because I overeducate on the webinar. I can't help it. But the reason behind that, and I think the reason a lot of us do it, is we take for granted how much experience we have, and we're like, to use the language metaphors, like, this is our first language, and the person we're talking to, they're just now trying to learn this language metaphorically. So we need to slow down and not use big words and like, this is how you say hello in this language, instead of assuming they already know it. But like, seriously, everybody right now, like, just go and picture some of the most successful yet ethical online marketing people, not the ones just lie. but like the good guys. And look at what they're teaching is the most painfully obvious things in the world. And their audiences are like, holy shit, this is magic. And it's not that their audiences are dumb. And it's not that these guys are doing anything bad. It's that they have the common sense to realize there's 7 billion people on the planet, and the overwhelming majority of them have no idea what an opt-in page is. And the idea that you can, automatically email people while you're asleep to most humans is like, holy crap, really? That's crazy. And if you don't bring it back down to that level of almost childlike curiosity, then you're going to lose them. And it's easy to do. It's really easy to do. It's not easy to bring it down to that level of childlike curiosity. It's really easy to overdo it and to overcomplicate it and overeducate.
Yeah, totally. 100%. I think it's a great way of putting it. So 2 questions that came in. Levi had asked, any advice on style, high production versus low production, text on screen, anything like that. I know, go ahead, Frank. What's your opinion on that?
It depends on if it's an ad or a VSL. So for ads, typically, I've had the best luck with very low production, just direct to camera. That's it. With web pages, I have better luck when it doesn't show me. So it's like, and so for all I know, the ads might actually work better if I get my ugly mug off there and just make it video sales letter style content. I have no idea, I haven't tested it. But what I do know is, at least for me personally, low production quality stuff, which is you're just talking to your phone, it works very, very well. And I haven't done a great deal of split testing to see, but I've done enough for me to like, okay, I'm tired of losing money split testing high production versus low production. I'm going to stick with just talking to the phone, or in many cases, just talking directly to the camera. And I did a run recently for our software where I was using video views objectives, and this was crazy. So I tried this thing where I was going to do one like really good content video a day for a month, and I did it. I think I made it for 9 or 11 days. And then we had to rebuild the stupid servers. And I was like, well, there's no point in driving people to the software. We can't actually do anything with it yet. So I stopped doing it. But I would run every one of them as a video views ad. And I tried 2 styles. One was a Loom style, which, like a Loom video where it's mostly screen cam stuff and you keep yourself in the talking head down at the bottom. And then I tried Casey Neistat style, because I'm a huge Casey Neistat fan. He's not really an ad guy. Well, he is. He's more of a brand ad guy. But he makes like all these really killer YouTube videos. They're just cool. And the ones that were higher produced, it took me 8 million years to edit, where I was like going on a journey, taking them to the beach and shit like that. Those got the least amount of view through as the ones where it's just me talking and like drawing stuff out on the digital whiteboard. So I can't conclusively say that high production doesn't work, but my own personal data, and it's very important to make that distinction. My own personal data shows, for me at least, that just a dude sitting there yapping works a lot better than being fancy. Who knows?
Yeah, I've seen that pretty much across the spectrum, really, that really for any kind of ads on Facebook, YouTube, whatever, there's never, again, nothing's ever like a black and white, right? There's always exceptions and all that, but I've always seen lower production stuff do better. Even like the CBD company that I'm like have a 20% stake in, that like we're running on YouTube, and like the company's doing like just AI voices, like an AI voiceover with like stock footage, right? And it like crushes, because we're like, well, we can provide ads. We've got Stefan's a partner, he's the best copywriter, like on the road. And like, now we're good. We're just gonna run these like shitty ones of like an AI voice to sort of like, like most CBD products are not like good. They do not, are not absorbed in the body. You need like whatever it is. And like, it's like literally this AI voice, and that's like crushing stuff with like the founder on camera and all this kind of shit. And it's like hilarious, right? It's so funny. But yeah.
I want to test that. That's great.
Yeah, I know, really save you. Like, yeah, you don't have to do anything. It's just gonna disappear into like a hermit hole. Owen had said, any comments on ideal length of YouTube, Facebook right now? Longer videos, 4+ minutes aren't working as well for me. Not sure if the algo is punishing long videos or if my copy is just not up to par. I mean, what I would say is, and we saw for Facebook, right? Like Golden Hippo and people are running entire VSLs, and I think you see, I don't think there's any magical length on YouTube. I know they start punishing you over a certain amount of time. I think it's over like 10 minutes, I want to say. But yeah, I'm not sure, Frank, what your thoughts are on that one.
You know what? I've never like split tested it. Dude, I'll get an ad that works and I ain't gonna mess with that damn thing. You know, like that 4-minute ad I showed you is a year old. And I went nuts and changed some of the sales copy around the video itself a month ago. You know, and it's 7 minutes long, by the way. So my guess, and the key phrase here is guess, is that you're experiencing normal advertising stuff, which is sometimes is really great, sometimes it sucks. And a couple of days of it not being great can freak you out and make you want to change everything. But I would really try to hold fast if that's the case and be a lot more analytical about it. And it could be a situation like, and now we're getting into ads and media buying and stuff. But sometimes you turn the campaign off and turn it back on, and it's like slapping the side of TV back in the day. And, TV ain't working, you're like, bap, bap, and then it'll start working again. I swear to God, like that's my go-to. Turn it off, turn it back on again the next day, and it resets it.
It's kind of amazing that still works. You'll turn it on and turn it off again, or turn it off and turn it back on again. Trick.
It would like on a more less dumb sounding explanation of it is when you do it, a lot of times it'll make the algorithm fish in a different pocket of the ocean of your audience, because the audiences are big, and usually the algorithm will just start like going in this one little hyper focused area and stuff, and it'll exhaust it, and when you turn it on, turn it back off again, or duplicate it, and then just turn on the duplicate, it'll make it go into a different pocket of that pocket of the ocean, so to speak.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Little hacks,
Good
hit the side of the TV method.
As you had said, does this work with an image where the script is like, the ad copy is a script, or is this only with like video ad copy as far as what you're sharing here? Like, would this work for like a text ad as well, or with an image, do you think?
I have run long form text ads that teach stuff for my Convert 2.0 book. This is years ago with just an image and without video, and they worked well. Yeah, cool. So I don't do it now just because, like, literally, God forbid, typing. It's exhausting. But yes, it has worked very well.
Cool. And then Eric said it's trying to show the difference. This goes back to like the 3 big secrets and keeping it simple. Is trying to show the difference between instinct and intuition. Like, would that be considered not simple enough? To me, I think that could be. The way I would answer that is if you're like, I don't know the context, right? But one, there's a difference between instinct and intuition. Instinct is when you do this. Intuition is when you do this. 2, but right. So if it was just like like that would be fine. I think if you tried to be like, here's the history of the etymology of instinct, versus intuition, and you went on and try to complicate it a lot, then it would get weird. But if you just sort of like, did a quick thing where you defined how they're different and why that matters in a few sentences, to me, that would seem fine.
Yeah, if we want to bring it to an ad context, because I don't really know that context either, nor do I know the difference between instinct and intuition, but I ain't that right. But if we were trying to say like, hey, let's explain the difference between intuition and math in ads, like here's secret number 1: math, not intuition, right? And then like you could easily then two paragraphs be like, hey, listen, a lot of times we'll just let our emotions get in the way. For example, you're running ads and everything's going great, and then it stops working, and all of a sudden our brains, when they say the entire business model is broken. Well, if you just use math and you look and say, okay, how many people actually went to the website yesterday? Are they still opting in? Are they still going to the reform? Is any part of this machine broken? Usually you'll discover that it's just one little thing, and you don't have to redo your entire business model. So I just kind of ad-libbed that, but that's a simplified way of like telling them to relax, instead of being one big secret. Now, this is where I get in dangerous territory. Talking about math and an ad, probably, not really that smart. So I don't know if I would go down that road specifically, but it was in line with what we were just talking about.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's cool. And then Bill Hershey asked 2 questions. He said, how much money would you reserve for testing an ad if you've never done an ad before? And then he also said, how would you decide where to test your video ad at first between YouTube and Facebook if you've not tried either one before?
For me, I'm going to go with Facebook, and the debate could rage on, and the YouTube guys might be right. I just think Facebook's cheaper and easier right now, and always have. I thought it was cheaper and easier, and I know it better. The question of how much would you spend on testing is however much you can lose. So I always go into this thinking it's not going to work, and I'm really buying data. And this October will be year number 23, and I'm still amazed whenever anything does work. Well, I can't believe it'll work. This is crazy. People bought that? Oh my God, So whatever you can afford to not recoup is what I would have as your testing budget. But the thing you have to look at, like ads, it's really like, instead of writing a consultant a check for $20,000 to guess on what is going to work and what isn't, and take up a ton of time, you can spend $1,000 on ads and you can be like, all right, that audience doesn't work, that headline doesn't work, this kind of works pretty good, here's what it looks like we should do, because the data can just tell you what's going to happen, based on how many people click the ad, how many people opted in, how many people bought, went to the web or went to the order form, and all of that kind of stuff. So that's the better way of looking at testing. It's like you're writing a check to the most brilliant ad, marketing consultant on the planet, because you're getting real data.
Yeah, I like that. It's a great metaphor. Okay, cool. And then Azu, would you run these ads as conversion ads to your website, or would you use lead forms for cheaper leads that might not be as good and have a ton of email follow-up to try and convert the lead form leads? I mean, you set up your ads yesterday. You're always going for conversions, and then you're still like lead retargeting, following up, all that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah, and dude, so man, if I try to pull this up, it'll take forever, and I have to do it off camera because it shows customer data. But I run lead form ads. All right, let me show you this. I will show you a moderately accurate report. So let's bust a myth here, as well as a rhyme, if possible, but at the very least a myth. All right, let's see. All right, that's the wrong count. -D. So this is underreporting, by the way. What I'm going to show you. I have this class about how to do email right, how to be good at emailing stuff. And on the 27th of June, I was teaching it live every Monday. It was supposed to be a 4-week class, and now I'm on like week 8 or something. But on the 27th was the day that I taught, okay, here's how to do lead formats, because they're the easiest to set up. They're iOS proof. They're relatively inexpensive. And, it's like great place to start as long as you have something to sell and you're willing to like send 8 billion emails to follow up with it. So check these on the chat right sheet. Okay. Let's see. Am I in that right thingy? Let's have a look. This is the one that I set up on that day. All right. So here it is. What's funny is it's called PDF demo. I don't give away a PDF. I have no idea why, but I'll show you the ad in a minute. But spent $9,800. And it's brought back 14 grand, all from lead formats. So like all I'm doing is the same thing I was telling you about yesterday. Got a whole bunch of audiences. Some of them worked, some of them didn't. It left the ones on that worked, And here's the ad. And this is what's funny. All right. So the ad itself, and this is like a different type of ad unit. So if you're not familiar with what a lead format is, it's when they actually fill out the form right there on the Facebook. They don't even go to your website. So once again, copywriting genius with a capital J. The new way to make more sales with email. How to get a list and make sales now. That's the whole ad. Just still shot, a misleading still shot of me being significantly thinner and younger than I am currently. So if they click on this, all right, they see this. All right, so this is what, this is actually built into Facebook. The funny part about this thing is this picture, I didn't want to use this, but when I was teaching the thing, it was in a live class like this one. And for whatever reason, Facebook was just being an asshole and wouldn't let me use the pictures that I had in my account. It was like, browse your computer for more images or whatever. And like, damn, it's going to take forever to find the right picture. So I just used like this one picture that it already had in my Facebook images library for ads. So I was like, screw it, I'll change it later. So like they see this, which makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. The copy itself is fine. Then they hit the next button and then they name an email. Then they agree to privacy policy, and they submit, and then they see this, and then they can like go to your website and see your stuff or whatever. So that's what a Facebook lead ad is. And this one is one that I would consider to be bad. I mean, what the hell? Why would this like some dude's forehead with like what? But yeah, it's right there. I'll tell you what, it's just right here. Done it real good. And what's really cool is, shockingly, Facebook's reporting kind of sucks. So this is what I don't want to do right now because it'll take forever. But everyone who responded to any of these ads right here, I tagged them in Infusionsoft. And so I'll run a report that's like, hey, show me everybody that's got the tag that says responded to that Facebook ad. Show me everything they bought since the 27th. And the total sales now are like 28 grand or something. So it's ridiculous. Like Facebook lead form ads are awesome, dude. So it's a common misconception that they're not good, but they're pretty good and stuff.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Who knew?
Who knew?
Yeah. Who would have guessed? Like I've heard the same thing, right? So I never gave them any credit. And now I just set these suckers up yesterday. Like, so this thing went live today. Right here, it's a CBO test. I took some of my better audiences and put them in the CBO thing. And look at there, $3.29 per opt-in. I hadn't made any money today. And this isn't really supposed to on day one. This is a longer email sales cycle, so it's okay. I'm not worried about that. Yeah, lead ads, shocker.
Yep. Shocker.
Kind of goes back to the thing that's really simple. Sometimes works pretty good. Like if I don't have to make them leave Facebook and they can just give me their email address there and I can email them 1 trillion times for free, maybe I'll try that. And turns out it works. So there is that.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
God, you make me want to buy more media. And then last question, and we'll go into retargeting. Phil kind of it's sort of like Frank, I know you ignore Facebook suggestions, but is the algorithm seriously favoring short copy today? They show their message in the ads manager to keep the text in the description to less than XXX characters. Well, long copy used to work really well. In some cases, what's your take? Yesterday, you showed the 2 cents copy. Is that related to these new rules?
No, it's related to the use of machine learning. So again, like if we look at, for example, so we look at the campaigns that are running now for the 4-course bundle thing, all right? And we go back to the machine learning stuff, especially when we're doing things like this. So it's like easier to look at. Okay, so I got this, here's my audience. And basically I'm saying, all right, Facebook, go out and not only get me conversions. We haven't even looked at the ad yet, okay? This is just how we're programming the supercomputer. I'm like, not only get me conversions, damn it, I clicked the wrong one. It says value, but I've got the wrong word for it here. Naturally. All right, let's try this one. Do me right here. Facebook, damn it. There we go. I'm saying not only get me customers, but get me customers that spend money. All right, so I'm programming the machine to do that. So let's think about this from a logical standpoint. And this is like relatively true. Of course, there could be errors in the machine learning logic and all of this, but Facebook is going to do its damnedest to only show my ad to people that are A, most likely to buy, but B, most likely to spend more than others. Okay, so without even considering the ad itself, we already have this going in our favor. So the reason I'm using that 2-sentence thing is because I want people that are in that pool already, right? So we have this pool of better people, ideally. They're already in that pool. I want them to respond to the most blatantly obvious ad ever, because now I've narrowed the pool of good people down to the pool of great people. And so now when I do my retargeting, even if they don't buy from the ad itself, I'm retargeting what one would logically assume, and we have to acknowledge that this is an assumption, but what one would logically assume is just a significantly better caliber of prospect because of those little steps we took right there at the beginning. So that's why I do that. I have no idea if they're going to give long copy or short copy any better love in the algorithm. Who knows? Really, I think anyone that would make that prediction, other than the Facebook engineer, would be guessing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So very long answer to it. I could have just said I don't know, but I wanted to really give you like the context to that. So it's there's a reason for this. Like this machine learning stuff is no joke, right? Like, we're literally saying, okay, here's the fish I'm after, and then we're able to narrow everything down before we even put marketing skills to use. It's ridiculous. And to put this into context, by the way, so check this out. We got the old 4-course thing. That's been like kind of a flagship ad that we were talking about, right? So this is yesterday's spend. And I launched some new campaigns yesterday. So spent $1,300 on it. Okay, and this is not yesterday. This is today. But look, here's what it did yesterday. Of course, watch ClickFunnels. Let's see if they do this to me because we're on camera. Oh, good, it worked. Maybe y'all use ClickFunnels. Sometimes it just won't load anything. So I made a little bit of money, right? Like, and I'm not like running these ads to get rich. I'm running these ads to build the audience and get a customer who's going to buy more stuff from me later. So I got paid a little bit, and I got 69 customers, 66 straight from the ad, and 1 from the little follow-up sequence. That's if they start to buy but they don't, I send them a little follow-up sequence. So 67 customers, not too bad. 8% conversion, almost 9. I'm going to round it up to 1,000,000% conversion. All right, pretty good. And today, still going strong. And it's the same thing. Let's see if we made any more money by refreshing stats. That usually is the secret to making money. It's more time to hit refresh. It's medically proven. So we're $1,500 in the money made today. Still conversion holding pretty good. And over here, what have we done spent? I get excited just to break even on these things. Yeah, well, I'm almost 50% return on my money today. And it works pretty good, is what I'm telling you. It's a pretty good strategy. And it builds you a good retargeting audience. So let's
good
discuss.
Segue. So smooth.
Yeah. It's like butter. I'll tell you what. So here's how to build your retargeting audience. All right. So you come over and you're going to see some of the dumbest retargeting audience names ever, because I've taught this before, and I always make ridiculous audience names. I will remember not to use them. Come on, Facebook. Just it for a couple hours. There we go. Okay, so you want to come to create audience. Seriously, dudes. There we go. All right. And what we make is a custom audience, okay? And we can retarget people based on all manner of stuff. So the first one is video views. So you click on video, and you click on next, and I apologize to whoever's account is going to be shown here. Everything I'm going to show you, I recommend you do it for, you see where it says retention? You do 1 for 30 and 1 for 7. All right, so I'll hit 30 here. And now what we're going to do is I like to do a separate audience for each of these things. I don't really care about 10 seconds and 30 seconds. So 15 seconds for all of it, 25%, 50, 75, 95%. I like to do this thing we're about to do create a separate audience for each of these little things. Remember yesterday, I told you, I was like, this part's tedious. It's super boring. You should do it while you're watching Netflix or something because it doesn't really involve any skill. So start here and you're like, all right, cool. And then we say, what videos are we going to count, right? Now it's going to show someone else's account, probably this dude, sorry, dude. So put mine in there. There we go. And now all you do is you just go through here and you choose all the videos that you want to retarget the viewers of. You know, so I've got a gazillion in here. So like this one, look at this, 2 million people have watched that video that we broke down yesterday. There's 3 different versions of it, which they're all the same. Incidentally, I've just uploaded it 3 different times for reasons that I can't remember. So I would click this, and let's just say I didn't want to make you watch me find all the other videos. I'm going to click whichever ones I want to do, hit confirm, all right? And I'll just name it, and name it whatever. I like the little RT in front of it, stands for retargeting. And then it'll be like watched 15 seconds of video 30. And it doesn't matter what you call this. Like, so you could, you could, whatever, call it, I like to wear underwear on my head, and no one's going to see it but you. So there's no science to the naming convention. And you hit create audience, all right? And it's going to create an audience of people who have watched 15 seconds of that video and or any other videos you've chosen on your channel. And anytime you want to add a new one, you just go and you edit this audience and you just say, all right, put that new one in there. And Facebook's always keeping up with that. So anyone who's watched 15 seconds of that in the last 30 days is now in that audience. And we want to do it for, this. And then we want to do the same thing, but 7 days. All right. So there's the video part. So I'm not going to make you watch me do all of them because that would be awful. It would be boring. So that's like thing number 1, building a retargeting audience on video views. Thing number 2, we're always doing this with custom audience. We can also do it with a website. So here you get fancy. I don't, but you can. I just like to do all of the things that are here. So number 1, first of all, I do all website visitors. So if you have your Facebook pixel installed on a web page, it won't track all of your website visitors because of iOS or whatever, but it'll track a bunch of them. So some's better than none. So we do that 30 and then 7. And then over here, visitors by time spent. All right. And look, you got all these little choices. And so they'll like measure how long people have been on your site and stuff. So I build an audience of visitors by time spent, and so now we have retargeting for people who've been on your sites. And if you want to, you can be like, all right, not only do I want to do that because this is every website you got a pixel on, but you could also do like specific pages. So, if they're buyers and the thank you page contains the word thank you, you'd say, thank you, and then it would compile a list of everyone who has been to your thank you page, in this case, in the past 30 or 7 days, so you could suppress them from other ads if you wanted to. So you can go crazy with this, and I would, right? Because it's not hard, it just takes a while. So it's like boring, which is why I'm going through the instructions of it quickly, because you kind of get it. But I don't want to leave out important things that you can retarget. For example, we would want to do for the lead form thing, if you're running lead ads, all right, you find, of course, pull up client stuff, sorry, change it to 30. Whenever you make lead form ads, you've got all kinds of different lead forms. If you're like running them and you're running a lot of them, then dude, like make it for all of them, retarget based on that. And come back over here. We can also do, now this is important, by the way, Instagram and Facebook page, right? So these are big. So we'll do Facebook page first. Remember, 30 and 7. We want to make an audience, like every type of audience, I'm telling you, make one for 30 days. So it's like everyone who did this thing within the past 30 days, then one for 7. The 7 ones are more recent. And you can run different types of retargeting ads to them that I'll show you in a minute. Because it's not always the conversion ad. Like when you get disqualified, that you can run different types of cheaper ads. It's kind of cool. All right, so one, let me type 30 just to be proper. Anyone who engaged with your page. So I make that audience. Number two, people who like or follow your page. Now, weirdly, this is not going to match up with how many followers you have. Like, so if you have 1 million followers or something, it's not going to put 1 million people in the audience. They will have had to have like done something in the past X amount of time to count, but whatever, better than nothing. All right. Anyone who visited your page, this is your Facebook page. And like, it's crazy. People go to your Facebook page for whatever reason. Do you go to people's Facebook pages? I don't, but thousands of people do apparently. So anyone who visited your page, this is a huge one. Anyone who engaged with any post or ad. So like this number is going to be big if you're running ads, because engaging with your ad is like playing the video, commenting, clicking. If you have a longer copy, clicking the little thing that says read more, forwarding it to somebody, leaving a like or a dislike, like all of that stuff counts. All right, so that one you want to do. Click any call to action button. It never tracks this for me. Try it anyway. It takes 5 seconds, but it always says can't be determined. And then, dude, people who send a message to your page, definitely. All right, you definitely want these. And then I don't have many of these people, but whatever. You know, we're seriously just talking about clicking buttons. So it's repetitive, but make an audience out of all of these guys. 30 days and 7 days. It automatically updates. So this is a pain in the ass, but you do it once, you know, so it's not like you have to do it every day or anything and keep going. So that's your Facebook engagers. Your next section is going to be your Instagram folks. So you got the people who engage, you got people who went to your profile, you got people who engage with a post or an ad, which is like somehow different. I don't know, but whatever. People who message you, and people who save any post or ad. So you want to create all of those audiences. All right. So we have like however many audiences that is, more than one, is my point. There are a lot of ways to retarget people. Let's see if there's anything I'm missing that's like super important. Got that one. If you want to upload your customer list, you can. That's relatively obvious. Yeah. So these are the big ones right here. And when you have them, you got yourself this stuff. All right. So I'll search for mine. And we have what the hell is up? That's trying to find like my actual retargeting ones. Yeah, so here are people that have in the past 7 days that have watched at least 15 seconds of my 4-course ad. Pretty good. Here's 30-day people, which is weird that it matches the same thing. So for the first time ever, Facebook's being weird, but whatever. So as you can see, watch 25%. Now that's a 7-minute long video ad, by the way. So 25%, all these things. So I can make lookalikes off of all these people, all page views, all the people who went to my 4-course thing, like just a gazillion different audiences. When I add all of these guys up, all right, so look, I have more page followers than this, but it's just, it doesn't count all of your page followers for whatever reason. When I add all of these guys up, which I often do in a campaign, now we have this. All right. So this is what I wanted to show you. Then I answered a question yesterday incorrectly, by the way. Someone was saying, hey, do you ever retarget your 4-course thing to, do you ever do retargeting on your 4-course thing? And I was like, no. And then I looked and I totally do it and it's crushing it. I don't know what I was thinking. So I'm going to search all my ad sets that have RT in there. I'll show you some cool stuff. So numero uno. Check this out. There are a lot of different ways to skin a cat. All right. Why you would want to skin one, I don't know. Don't recommend it, but very popular figure of speech. So we always think that it's all about getting conversions, which at top of funnel, when you're not retargeting, it is. But if you have like, you know, if we go all the way back to, okay, we're Facebook, where to fish, and we're like using the best bait possible, then sometimes your retargeting list is going to be really, really qualified people, and you can use cheaper ad strategies like this one. So I just started this today. Okay, so let's have a look here. Check this one out. 30 days. This one is the one that's actually getting some play, I think. So this is an ad I built today for a webinar that's happening tomorrow. It's going to my retargeting list, all right? And I'm only doing it for people in America. because the time zone thing, like, well, it's going to be 11 in the morning tomorrow, and I don't think people in, Australia are going to want to get up that early or whatever. So that's why the audience size is small here. But what I've built is, instead of saying give me a conversion, I said just show it to these people. I don't really care if you get any conversion, because I know that the people you're showing it to are pretty freaking qualified, because they like the whole machine learning thing that I gave you earlier. All right, so I literally just launched this thing. It's been alive now for like an hour or something. I've spent a whole bunch of money, $1.77 on it. But look, let's see. I think it's already yielding something. So this is my little like tracking that I'm doing. It's not the best tracking, but I put a little UTM code in my website so I can track it. And let's see if this thing's gotten us an 11 yet. Come on. Right thing. August 9th. It's weird. I was just here a minute ago and it showed the right thing, but I probably, for the first time in history, put the wrong tracking code. I think. Let's see if this has gotten me any leads. This is what I'm trying to figure out. Here we go. So then got me a lead already. All right. And so it's not huge, but again, this thing just turned on, and I have spent to get that lead $1.77. Now only 150 people have seen this. And what's cool about this is that it's really inexpensive to show this ad, which is just on Facebook Reels, by the way, to 1,000 people. So at the end of the day, how much it costs you to show an ad to 1,000 people really affects a lot of stuff. Like notice this one, for example, is $88.41 to show an ad to 1,000 people. It's because this one is a conversion ad, and this one is just saying, hey man, just show it to people. I don't care who they are or what their intentions are, because I've already got my retargeting list built, right? So there's that. Like that's a cool little retargeting strategy. Another one, and this has worked very well for me, and I just built this, so we'll see how it's working. It's pretty new. Like I said, I literally turned this on today, so I gotta find my tracking content here. Another objective, instead of conversions for retargeting, is going to be traffic. All right, so this particular campaign right here at my ad set level, instead of me telling Facebook, hey, go get me customers, I'm saying, hey, remember all those like really good prospects we were showing ads to that interacted with the ads and went to my page and stuff? Let's just get those people to click. And when you do that, it's cheaper, all right? So it's like less per 1,000 impressions in this case. Let's see, $15, right? And so that's a whole lot cheaper than freaking 83 or whatever other stuff we're looking at. So let's see if this thing's gotten us in 11 yet. It may or it may not. It's a little early, 8 clicks. It's hard to draw any conclusions, but I just kind of want to show you current stuff. I literally just built this thing today. So we'll wait 2,000 years here. And do I have any action? Oh, how dare they? No one's opted in yet. Might as well give up. Might as well go back to roofing houses. But that's like an alternative objective, I guess, is what I'm trying to tell you, is when you have a retargeting audience, you want to experiment with using every type of campaign, whether it's a reach for your like more recent people or a traffic objective. It may or may not work. That's why you measure all these things. But if you do the machine learning stuff, I was telling you, your chances of retargeting really working for you are going to be much higher, because you have better people to retarget, such as, all right, case in point, we'll find this guy. Okay, so let me go here for like a longer time frame so we can see more statistically relevant data. All right, so these are new. Let's go. see which ones have done real good. All right, so that's not retargeting. This one is. All right, so let's have a look at this guy. This is one where, let me show you the ad set here. All right, I didn't know what this was selling yet, but this is, come on, Facebook, me retargeting everybody. So remember, I like made all of those different retargeting lists and stuff that I just showed you. So this is me not caring what country they're in or anything. I'm just retargeting all of them. So it's a big ass retargeting list. Like, I'll take it. This is why I'm so bullish on dog whistle copy, 2 sentences, running it to cold people. And if you can break even or, you know, God forbid, actually make a buck or two, like, hell yeah, man, this is great, because you get a big ass retargeting list of pretty qualified folks. So in this case, I'm saying, okay, Facebook, go to these already qualified people, show them an ad, and I want you to try to get me 1.2x ROAS on it. All right, so let's see what we're doing. I got an $80 per day budget. Let's see what we were selling in this one. It's the 4 horsemen. All right, so we look here. These are the ads, and let's look at the winning ad. Shocker, it's the one that's always won. 38 purchases at $12.70 per purchase. This is the 2 sentences, by the way, just to show you. All right, so same old. And notice I'm not paying attention to any of this crap. Like, I could care less. I don't know. I'm not even going to read it. This, don't care. That was dumb. I should probably click the domain thing, but I'm not going to because I don't want to reset my campaign. 2 sentences a copy. All right. Watch it. Said in the best redneck voice. Did it make any money? Yeah, 2.93. This one made more. This is, you know, Facebook being brilliant that it is. It's like, well, let's show this one more, even though this one made more money. But guess who's not going to mess with it? Me. I'm not going to mess with it. And the reason why is because I put $600 in, all right, and I got 24, damn it, stop doing that, $2,400 out. So math is not an exact science, but I think that's a 400%, 3.8 X ROAS, you know? So like, retargeting is pretty freaking smart. I can't believe I forgot I was doing that. Because y'all asked me yesterday, hey, dude, are you retargeting for your $4 thing? I'm like, no, I am. Don't listen to me. I don't know what I'm doing most of the time. All right, so here's another one. This is, again, retargeting worldwide. I don't know what I'm selling in this one. This is for my flash sale. All right, so same audience. And this is what I mean. Like, I really should be doing more of this, by the way. You get a retargeting audience. It's not like you're limited to only showing them one ad. Like, if I get off my ass and build more funnels, I should be showing them 10 different funnels like all the time. Just, you know, I want that retargeting audience to be like, if I see this guy again, I'm going to get crazy. You know, because I worked hard to get them, right? But look, 3 times the money, and here's the ad. There you go. 1 sentence, 2 sentences. But I already, like, these people already know me. I don't feel like I have to go nuts and explain a bunch of stuff. I just want to get the click. So I want to put the value prop right here, which is a great big old discount. I'm stealing from the folks who ran print media and made a whole bunch of money in newspaper ads. And if it worked for them and they didn't have the internet, I'm going to try their approach. And it works pretty good. The trick is, you don't have to do this all the time. I'm a huge fan of setting up your ad set to try to get you value, and sometimes even putting a ROAS goal in there of like 1.2 or whatever. And if it doesn't think it can get it for you, it just won't spend the money. But if it does, it'll spend it. It's pretty sweet. In this case, I don't know why it says worldwide here, because it should be a little bit bigger, but for whatever reason, I must have left some people out or something. Oh, yeah. For whatever reason, I'm not retargeting page views. I don't know why. But you know, it's actual intelligence not required. Here's another one. Let's see what this one was for.
Hey Frank, after this one, I want to probably start winding down just because we've gone for 2.5 hours. I mean, you're dropping value bombs, so I'm not trying to like stifle your genius, but we should have more time, even on the last call next Monday, to like this implementation. But we can always review a little more too. But just wanted to throw that out there.
I'll show you the one more that's like a different thing. So this one is me retargeting to get leads to opt in for an on-demand webinar. So I showed you the 4-course thing, so it's like, okay, 4-course thing works, a discount works. What about lead gen? So this one right here, this is to show you again the ad set. And this is important. So if you're retargeting for a purchase, going global and going worldwide is okay. If you're doing it for an opt-in, it's very dangerous because underdeveloped countries with like economies, I'm trying to say a place where people ain't got no money, those folks will opt in for stuff like crazy. And Facebook will just like start showing only those people your ads and they ain't gonna buy anything. So this is a lead objective. I'll show you the ad in a minute. This is to get people on my automated webinar for my email course. And I'm ignoring this thing, don't care. Got, my big ass retargeting list, but I'm only showing it to like America and Western European countries. That's why the audience size is smaller. So this is to get leads, all right? So it's for the opt-in. See right over here. Well, conversions, but at the campaign level, it's for leads. And then the ad, this one I went nuts and actually wrote some copy. And it's working pretty good. And I have not changed it since. And by working pretty good, what I mean is we spent $2K on it and we got 4,100 back. But more importantly, we also got 458 leads. And that, to me, is the name of the game, because email for me is where that's my strongest point, is email. So I don't want to rush, and I'm happy to go like into greater depth for retargeting stuff on our implementation day. But there's really not a lot to it. You make the audiences and then you run retargeting ads to them, and you can mess around with fun stuff like reach objective for more recently retargeted people, traffic objective as well, and different placements. Like Facebook Reels are really cheap right now. That's why I made that Reels test. We'll see how it does. I'll let you know next week, right? So I will have run the ad for a day.
Yeah, it's awesome. I feel like my head's swimming in a good way, but that's why we record these calls too, because there's just so much good stuff there. I mean, I'm not like, I'm not as, I used to do more with Facebook. I don't as much now, but I love watching this. It's just so, yeah, I don't know, man. It's exciting. There's so much good stuff here, Frank. Those value bombs galore.
If we got these returns on the stock market, we would go to jail. They'd be like, you're definitely doing something wrong. We don't know what it is. We're going to lock you in jail and then figure it out and then keep you in jail. It's crazy. And that's how I view ads. It's just all it is capital multiplication. It's the whole thing. So if we take emotion out of it, we don't want to take our prospects' emotion out of it. But if we don't get attached to my copy good, I will still order this or whatever, but to just look at the freaking numbers, it makes for an easier game.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, that's amazing. So yeah, I think let's wrap here for today, because I know I was trying to keep these calls to be more bite-sized, but we can go through more questions on the implementation day on Monday. And we'll send out the replay too, but I don't know. I mean, hopefully everyone got a ton of value. I know there's a few questions that get answered, but I think, yeah, we'll jump into those next week. But was this good for everyone who's on the call here? Do you all enjoy this today? Yeah. Good. Cool. Sweet. Well, yeah, this is awesome, man. So we'll send out the replays to everyone tonight and or tomorrow morning at the latest, and then let's come back and run it back for Monday the 15th too.
Guys, please, as a closing note, just try some stuff, and see what happens. Like if my big redneck ass can get it in front of complete strangers and be like, hey, this is an ad, I'm going to try to sell you something, and it works, then surely we're living in a gilded age, So please don't overthink it. It's like, all right, man, one of my favorite phrases, it works well. Sometimes it's terrible, but it's like, hey, fuck it, man, let's see what happens. And I think if you take that approach with a calculated risk, don't go gambling the farm or anything, You'll get some good results from some stuff you won't, and keep doing the stuff that's working good, and don't do the stuff that didn't work good.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, it's not rocket science, but yeah, I gotta get back on. You're inspiring me, man. So that's that's good. I don't know, love it.
All right,
cool, perfect. Well, everyone, appreciate all of you joining us. Frank, I appreciate you as always as well. And yeah, we'll see everyone next Monday. And I hope everyone has a great rest of your day.
Me too. All right, homies.
All right.
See y'all later.
Thank you, everyone. All right, bye.